On the microphone, when he's not on the microphone, he's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
Good morning. Can you feel it? I can feel it. Good morning on this Thursday, November 14th, 2024, the day after the Sacramento Kings defeated what was the first place Phoenix Suns. Light the beam. Good morning to you. Jason Ross here. You see Christopher Laud through the haze, through the shade of our probably not that clean glass. No Carmichael Dave at this point with question mark, maybe even February. I don't know about Dave this morning. He's got, and I know he will explain it, has explained it before. He has had those brutal migraines before. And unfortunately, I think it hit him today. He's still efforting to make his way in today. We'll kind of keep you up to date on that. It's going to be a fluid show. I promise you. But we are going to have all the regular things that we do on a Thursday. And the main one I say one thing we will not have today. Normally we have at 7:30 on Thursdays, normally Kelly Brothers. He is good at business. But we will not have Kelly Brothers today. I think it's vacation day or something. He had let us know last week that Kelly was going to be out. So he gets vacation. That happens. So no Kelly Brothers today. But at 8 o'clock, courtesy of our friends at Jiffy Lube, Sam Amick will step by for his weekly visit. We always love chatting with Sam. So that'll be coming up at 8 o'clock later today. Also, all the regular things to kind of recap and give you enough knowledge you're going to need the rest of the day if by chance you didn't go to the game, if you didn't watch the game, if you didn't listen to the game. And I can't think of a better way to get you caught up on that than at 7 o'clock with Kings Rewind, the segment that is sweeping the nation. Thinking back to a couple of weeks ago when Dave was across the pond, might have even been the day he was in New York. I don't know. No, he wasn't on the air, but he was gone. And in this very opening segment is when an idea brewed. I had talked to Chris about a show I grew up with, the Jim Healy Show down in Southern California. I believe it was in the 1800s. And kind of told Chris the concept. So I've always wanted to do something like that. Maybe we could do something like it. Well, it's our own spin, our own take on it. The idea was kind of formed. Chris and I put it into an oven, baked it twice. It was a twice-baked segment. And we came up with the Kings Rewind. And so it's a segment written by me, really produced by Chris, through whatever goes on in that brain of his. And there you get Kings Rewind. So we always look forward to that. That's going to come up at 7. And all the regulars in between leading off and 3 for Madness and 4 down territory, Niners at 9, what to watch, and a crosstalk. So that'll get you from now until 10 o'clock. Hopefully everybody had a good evening yesterday, and it was a good evening for the Kings. We'll get into that a little bit later. And like I said, if you're just, 2 minutes ago, just checking in from now or just checking in and missed the very, very beginning, Carmichael Dave dealing with some migraine issues, but again, is efforting. And as someone who has, thankfully, knock on wood, never had to go through that, I know, guys, if Dave could pick and choose when to have this erupt and hit him, I know it would be the summertime. I know it would be probably after just a brutal Kings loss. This is a good day. And so he's down and out right now, but again, trying to make it in. So we'll see how that goes between now and 10 o'clock. It's also a new week of the NFL, as really good game tonight, I think. The Commanders and the Eagles to get you started with Thursday Night Football. We'll have that for you. I believe, Chris, right? Don't we have football tonight?
Yes.
He says with certainty. How I felt that was about a 20% yes. As he checks the schedule.
Yes, we will have football tonight.
Now he's 100%. We will have football tonight. Sometimes we have some Davis basketball that sneaks in there, but not tonight. So yes, we will have the NFL kickstarting a new week of action tonight with Thursday Night Football. So we look forward to all of that. And, just thinking about last night, a lot of fun at the Kings game last night. Good energy, good vibes. And I know we'll get into the totality of the game and a full breakdown. We've got post-game reaction. We'll hear from the different parties from the game. De'Aaron Fox, I believe Coach Brown, Keegan Murray. We got lots of people to hear from. And we can hear from you, and let's kind of set that up as well. If you guys, and we've already got quite a few of you this morning. Good morning to all of you on the chat, checking in. How are you this morning? Thank you for our YouTubers, our regulars. I see you out there. AB, Derek, Zeebs, MC, and more. You guys are there. You're ready. We appreciate that. Tracy, all of you in there. So thank you, thank you, thank you. You can do that right now, and maybe you've never done that. Well, pull up your app, pull up your internet, whatever it may be, and pull up Sacktown Sports and the YouTube page. And that's where you can see me wearing 19 layers of clothing today. Got a sweatshirt, got a vest, but I am snug. I'm comfy, ready to do the next couple of hours here for you. And then we also, if you're not there, certainly on the radio, on the app, however you are, you can text us at 916-339-1140 to get in on the show. But I always appreciate those that are first, that are in early. We talked about it, I think, yesterday with Dave. Maybe it was the day before. All these days blend in for me, you know that. About if we weren't doing mornings, or Dave has such a hard time sleeping past 7 on the weekends. Not for me. If this was not a morning show time, I'd be out. So those of you that are awake, that may be getting yourself ready for work, maybe some people I think are just early birds. And when I hear, I'm a morning person, I never knew what that exactly meant as far as what time that meant. And that's got a pretty big variable. Some people just get up at 4:30, just, I won't say just because, they just start their day. That's how they've always done it, and that's what they do. I think you're crazy, but I admire you. And so some do that, and that's fine. And others obviously are up and at 'em, maybe are already working, have been working, getting ready for work, getting off of work. There are people that work the overnight. And doing this for this long, this is what, my 30-plus year here at the station, I have literally had every single time slot. Mornings, middays, afternoons, worked evenings, did some stuff technically way back when we had to do some things overnight. That's pretty rare, but there's been plenty of night where I've been here on projects or different things where, I'm leaving going, man, is Pat and Tom going to come in before I leave? And, leaving at 3 or 4, and, they get here so early. So I've experienced it all, but I think if I could have the preference, it would be to wake up without an alarm. But that's not the case when you work nights for Kings and have to get up and do the mornings with this show, which I absolutely love. Love being with you guys. Enjoy, for the most part, being with Chris. No, I do. And certainly with Dave as well. So thank you to all of you today. Excuse me. And also looking forward to just what's ahead this weekend. It's going to be a great, great sports weekend with some really high-level NFL games, some games to watch. I know we'll talk about some of those today, but really more so tomorrow in our NFL preview. A big one again for the Niners. Everyone at this point is big just based on what they've let slip through their hands already this year. But a matchup with Seattle, and you could really do a lot of damage to the Seahawks if the 49ers can get that win. And for the other big matchups in the NFL, but also the Kings playing Friday and Saturday, we have our the Kings' first of the season cup game. And I don't know if there's I don't know how the fans feel about, and maybe you guys can chime in on that in kind of a quick informal
gauge of your interest. Are you guys into the in-season tournament, the cup games, the NBA Cup? The league is very much into promoting it. I know going to the broadcast meetings, what was that, in September back east, they were very surprised, pleasantly surprised with how the first year went. And I was too. I really enjoyed it. I found myself at those games getting more and more invested. I felt the players were more invested. And there's the proverbial switch that happens when you get to the playoffs. I know a lot of times people like the game, it shouldn't be different, but it is. It just is. And the players, there's just a little bit more of an intensity, a sense of urgency, physicality, all-out effort. Well, I felt like that was there in the in-season tournament last year. And people wanted to win the first. People wanted to win the money. I mean, that it was a good motivation. And from what you heard from the Lakers and Pacers, who were in the finals, and the Lakers ultimately won it, it wasn't as much that LeBron wanted to win that money and AD wanted to win that money, but they did want to win that money for some of the lesser paid players, coaches that split some of the pot, people in the organization. Like that's a pretty nice reward to share among people that are in your organization, that players cared about. And so I still think that's the same kind of motivation for this year. But being year two, it's not the same. You're not the first. Now, it doesn't mean people aren't going to chase it. And I think where the inherent chase is the fact that these are regular season games that count towards your standings. And if you continue to win, and the byproduct is you advance out of your pool play, and then you can advance ultimately to the Cup Finals. Once you're getting that far, you want to win it. So I think that's going to be the same case. But I think if you guys remember yesterday, I gave the example of talking to the Minnesota Timberwolves voice, Alan Horton, yesterday. He said, man, we really enjoyed the Cup last year because we went, and they were in the same pool as the Kings. They went 3-1. So did the Kings. Kings advanced based on tiebreaker points. But then they have to schedule 2 additional games, because right now, if you look at the Kings schedule, there's 40 home, 40 road, and we know there's 41 and 41. If you don't advance, they give you 2 more games, 1 home, 1 road. And Minnesota, who ended up being one of the top teams in the West, happened to get San Antonio and Memphis. Memphis was down. Spurs were still kind of raw and young and figuring things out. So they picked up 2 wins that week. Well, that all adds up at the end, and the Kings had to advance, or were fortunate to advance, played their nemesis New Orleans, didn't win that game, and the additional game as well, they had to play Phoenix. So they played 2 playoff teams, and when every game adds up at the end, it all kind of becomes an interesting factor. So just curious what you guys have to say about that. Let's see, Kev, I'm not into the Cup until the Kings lose, or I'm into the Cup, until the Kings lose. I can picture that. I can picture that for sure. I think there's a lot of people that feel that way. Our text line, not as much into the Cup this season. Okay. And I think once you get there on Friday, I know I'll feel the same way. It's like, all right, it's another game. Floor is different. Uniforms are different. Let's go. Got to beat Minnesota, who, by the way, lost last night. That's 3 in a row for them. So that'll be an angry team coming in on Monday. All right, we just got started here. I probably talked too much sports in that opening segment. My apologies for you there. When we come back, we will have leading off. We are going to do that with the Kings getting their victory over the Suns again. That amongst 2 other categories. As we get started on this Thursday show, it's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. We are back with leading off next.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL?
Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
Carmichael Dave here from my good friends at American Energy. Cool weather, if not cold weather, is in our future. You know that. It'll eventually get there, and American Energy wants to make sure your system is operating safely and properly. So now is the time to take advantage of the $49 fall tune-up inspection. That's regularly $119, but includes a full safety and duct inspection. And if your system's over 10 years old, it's free. The tune-up is on American Energy. Give them a call right now. They're offering $50 off your first recommended repair, or if you need a new furnace, that's half off the price of a new unit. American Energy been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You can check them out at theaeway.com for an instant quote. That's theaeway.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9998 now.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411th North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Let's do it. Leading off, the 3 top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number 1.
Eludes the defender, drives inside. He'll go for the floater. Too strong. Lynn with a rebound. Didn't look to put it back. Skipped it out to Colby Jones. Colby hits the 3 just as time was expiring. Kings tie their season high with 15 3-pointers. With that one going down, 15 for 28.
Yeah, what's interesting is Sacramento did have several season bests yesterday in their convincing win over the Phoenix Suns, 127-104. Shot 64% from the floor. That's a fantastic number. Even better, hallelujah. Kings made the 3s at a 53.6% clip. They had not shot above 40% all season long. I think the only issue with last night is they didn't shoot enough. I've been saying that when they were shooting so poorly. Mike Brown, a lot of his post-game comments would be, we needed to shoot more. We needed more paint touch. Need to spray 3s. I'm thinking, Coach, I don't know if your team could shoot the ball. We all knew it was an outlier, seemingly, and I'm not saying one game has fixed it. I'm saying this. Personally, I'm very glad to see it. I'm glad it happened. It was good to see Keegan knock some down. Trey Lyles knock some down. Those two guys had really been on the wrong end of that here lately. And if we go down the 3-point list, 3 makes for Keegan, 3 for 3 for Sabonis, 2 for 6 for Herter. Fox knocked one down. McLaughlin knocked one down. Ellis knocked one down. Colby Jones, as you just heard, knocked that one down. And Trey Lyles, 3 of 5. So it was great to see. And I kept saying that partially for kind of an optimistic look, but I kept bringing that up to Dave. I go, one of the things we just don't know what this team will look like is what happens if they do hit 3s. We assumed it would happen. We did not think this would be the dead last shooting team in the league. Last year, my comments on the Kings were, I don't know if they're as good of a 3-point shooting team as they think they are. They were taking a ton of 3s, but certainly making them at a better rate than they are this year. And so I was kind of hoping for a happy medium, like take less than you did a year ago, but certainly make more than you're making now. And we finally saw a night. Now, to keep last night from being about flawless was the lack of rebounding, at least in the first half. I believe I saw a stat that the Sacramento Kings' first half offensive rebounds allowed was 14. I think that's the most ever that they've allowed, which seems like a low number, but I thought that was put out there on social media that was the most offensive rebounds allowed in Sacramento Kings franchise history in a half. Cleaned it up a bit in the second half. What did the Suns end up with offensive rebounds? 19. That's a massive number. So between that and the turnovers, my goodness, if those weren't happening, which, look, you're not going to get everything every night, but that was keeping the Suns around. I thought the Kings' defense was great, especially on Booker. And I know I had someone reach out to me, yeah, but we're making Okogie look like he's all world. Yeah, yes. You can't guard everybody to the same extent. I mean, the Suns are going to score. And it's like nights when, maybe a bunch of people play well, but this player didn't play well. It's so rare to have everybody play great, to have everything right on top of things. And that's partially why I was still a little bit optimistic about where the Kings were yesterday at 6-5, coming off what I think was their worst game against the Spurs. They've been finding ways to win when we all can see what's missing. Obviously, the 3-pointers have been missing. And I think in the past, they didn't have the abilities to find other ways to win. Well, right now, their defense, I would say, has been good. That's good. Without a rim protector, defensively, they've been sharp. Offensively, they've been brutal from beyond the arc, but here they are as one of the best free throw shooting teams in the league. Here they are as one of the best mid-range shooting teams in the league. So they are fine. They've got the bench has been bad. They found other ways to get it done. Last night, they pieced together more of those things that had been hurting him. And it was so nice to see that they put a lot of that together. And look, the Suns have only lost twice. Now it's 3. 2 of those to the Kings. They've lost once to the Lakers, twice to the Kings. This is a good basketball team. I get it. They didn't have Durant. They didn't have Beal. They didn't have Grayson Allen. But you need to win those games. And the Kings didn't have Malik Monk. And then by halftime, they didn't have DeMar DeRozan, who was out with back tightness. So they did a nice job, found a way to win. Much more on that coming up. Let's get to cut number 2.
Cut number 2.
Giannis with 16 seconds to work with, drives inside and stuffs it down with the right hand. 59 points now for Giannis. He's tapping his chest as he goes the other way, saying, this is my house. This is my house.
Turns, shoots, and swishes for 50. He's not human. He's an alien.
Wemby had 50. The Kings warmed him up. Giannis had 59.
They warmed him up. I think they did better than they played better defense.
Absolutely. He hit 8 threes.
That game was the first time I felt like, oh no,
it's unfair.
Yeah,
because I think Chris, you and I are in a little bit of the same spot. Like I like Victor Wembanyama. I've nothing. There's no reason to not like any part of him except for he's not a King. Would be and it's not that I don't like him. I like him. But I was like, okay, I feel a little bit too much push on the hype train.
Well, it feels like a cheat code.
Yeah. And so I'm like, look, there's no doubt he's great, but everyone's like, this is going to be the greatest player the league has ever seen. I'm like, can we let him play 5 years? Can we let him play? Like right now, I think we're still witnessing one of the greatest players ever. And people will try to pick apart LeBron and this is why he's not. And this, it's like, those debates are going to go on forever. Victor's played 2 years. Let's relax. I mean, he's incredible. He's absolutely incredible, and then it feels like I don't get that. I feel like that's why we're putting shade. I'm putting shade on it, but just let it happen. Let it develop. Let us watch, and when you watch and see what he's done over the last couple games, just scary. Honestly, I don't even think his offensive game is that refined at all. And so his defense he's already elite. His offense has been okay. Right now, it's cooking. And it's going to be scary if it all materializes and all consistently happens and he stays healthy and does all the things that stars do. Play through it, play consistently. I mean, it's a treat to watch what he's doing. And here are the Spurs at 500. So watch out for them. But big scoring.
And he did it so effortlessly.
I know.
Like Giannis was like putting the team on his back.
Yeah.
I need to force my way to get these points, to get this win. And Wemby's just like, meh.
Yeah, I'll shoot here. I mean, when he was pulling up like 5 feet beyond the arc against the Kings, I'm like, what's he doing? But also, here I go, shading him again. He probably took 2 or 3 threes in the Kings game. I know he had 2 air balls and a couple others. I'm like, ooh. So again, not fully refined, but be afraid, league. Be very afraid of what he can become and what he's becoming right in front of our eyes. All right, cut number 3.
Cut number 3.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It is over. That's the end of the game. It is. Thank goodness. Say the Cowboys. 34-6. Eagles beat Dallas. They just bury them.
Bury them. Yes. The NFL. Man, another week. Can you believe it? Where's the time gone? Man, it goes by so fast.
Unbelievable.
Here we are. We have Thursday Night Football tonight, and it will be the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Commanders tonight. And probably when that schedule came out early, it's like, I don't know if that's the best Thursday night game. It is now. Eagles rolling. Commanders have been great. Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels, NFC East. A lot of people thought, myself included, the Cowboys would be up there in the mix. They are not up there in the mix. So this is a big one between those two. You're going to be able to hear that tonight right here on Sacktown Sports. All right, so there you go. We've set the scene today. That is leading off. When we come back, we dive right back into the Kings. We got some play-by-play from the G-Man last night, some audio to revisit and kind of explain how it all went, just in case you missed it. We've got that coming your way next.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the
triple. Sacramento takes the lead. Outstanding ball movement by Sacramento.
Every triple, every jam, every Kings win.
Sabonis with the jam over the Joker. He's got the three-point shot.
Get your Kings fix all season long.
Right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings.
Here's a steal by Fox. The breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
Sacktown Sports and sacktownsports.com.
When it's cold and rainy outside, Bonnie is leading the way home. Right now, stay warm and cozy with a full furnace tune-up, just $59. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Schedule an appointment today at Bonnie.com.
Don't you deserve health care you can count on? Well, you can count on United Healthcare with Medicare plans that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. You can enjoy reliable coverage and low out-of-pocket costs with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plans. Made for California, trusted everywhere. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our clients' portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
It's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room. And guess what? Primetime football is back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. As always, offering the best food, the best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. So check them out, Capital Casino, and always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Welcome back to another exciting game day. Grab your rally towels, throw on your jerseys, cheer, shout, and save on your gas. That's right, sports fans win big on home game days. Score instant savings of 25 cents per gallon on Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline with the Fuel Rewards program. And that's a victory for you and your tailgate team. Download the app, join the Fuel Rewards program today, and game on. Restrictions apply. Limited time. At participating Shell stations. For more details, visit fuelrewards.com.
Black Friday savings on now on the all-new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy.
With $8,000 off MSRP after rebates, every new 2025 half-ton LT, RST, LTZ, and High Country in stock at Maida Chevy.
Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections of new 2025 Silverados in the Sacramento area.
$8,000 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, leases, and other offers. Ends 12/1/24. Source internet search 11/2/24.
Facts are facts, and the facts show that for eliminating hip, knee, back, leg, and foot pain, it's the Good Feet personalized arch support system, clinically proven to provide significant pain relief in only 4 weeks. Good Feet arch supports are designed to help put your feet and whole body back in pain-relieved proper alignment. Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Book your free fitting at Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
It's time for the Sacktown Sports Live Events Calendar, the hottest live events lineup just for you. Kicking things off for comedy fans, don't miss David Spade bringing his sharp wit to Hard Rock Live Sacramento on November 22nd, followed by the hilarious Russell Peters lighting up the stage the next night, November 23rd. Then get ready to feel those good vibrations with the legendary Beach Boys on November 24th at Hard Rock Live. And for classic rock lovers, the Black Crowes are rocking the same stage November 30th. All of these are brought to you by our friends at Live Nation. The original Jersey Boys, Midtown Men, are bringing their holiday show to Thunder Valley on December 8th. Then kicking off the year in style, country stars Dylan Scott and Jackson Dean are hitting Thunder Valley on January 10th. And the one and only Bill Engvall will be there too, cracking up the crowd on January 11th. Don't miss these incredible events coming your way, and stay tuned for more info. To get details, head to sacktownsports.com.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
On Sacktown Sports.
Jason Ross, Christopher Laud here on this Thursday morning. Again, we're hoping that Carmichael Dave will be able to make it in. He's got some, he's told you before, and so I'm not giving any trade secrets out, but we got the text this morning, early in the morning, about just really going through one on a migraine. So he's trying to make it in. Hopefully that all works out well for him. For those of you that go through anything like that, you can relate, and he'd love to be here after what was a very impressive Kings performance. It was a little shaky at times, but I think for the bulk of it, it was really, really good. And so let's kind of go back and hear how it all started. I mean, the Kings got off to a terrific start, and a lot of it was set up by their defense.
Should have been there. Herter with another steal. Lead out past Keegan. Chased by three defenders, and he still scores. Keegan Murray, 7 points to start this ball game. 17-7 in favor of Sacramento.
Yeah, so the Kings quickly got going. I mentioned earlier one of the themes of the night that made this a difficult night for the Kings, more difficult than maybe it should have. And look, they ended up winning by, what was that? 23 points. Still, they had their share. They were in the season of giving. They were giving the ball up all over the place, just right back to the Suns.
Keon Ellis advances for Sacramento, has the ball knocked out of his hands by Okogie. Okogie's been really active with good hands defensively. Here's a bad pass stolen by Devin Booker. A run out for an uncontested soft two-hand flush. His first 2 points of the evening. That's the 5th Sacramento turnover of the first quarter. That's a bit alarming.
And G-Man sensed it. It was a bit alarming. The Kings for the game, 17 turnovers. That number's a bit high. Not terribly high, but a bit high. But what it produced, 29 points. I mean, the Kings were just giving them buckets with those turnovers. All right, let's move on to the second quarter. The bench, as we had said earlier, had not been playing well. Malik Monk obviously being out. Others get an opportunity. And it was great to see this guy finally make shots.
Was challenged nicely inside by the Kings. Fox has it, throws it ahead now to Doug McDermott. Back to Fox, to the left side to Lyles. Screen set, 3 on the way. He's got another one. That's the Kings basketball that we've missed seeing for a spell. Knocking down those triples, 7 of 12 on the night. T. Lyles now has himself a 9-point ball game, having made 3 of 4 from downtown. And the Suns take a timeout.
Trey Lyles, one of 6 Kings in double figures last night. He produced 13 off the bench. Nice to see Jordan McLaughlin also give them 11 points, but the passing was on point. Kings had a season-high 38 assists in the victory, and this might have been the best two-man possession of the game, and it was 2 of the better ones, Fox and Sabonis.
Fox gets by the defender, gives to Sabonis, eyed the rim for 3, takes 2 dribbles, backdoor cut Fox, back out to Modest. Nobody within 15 feet of him, and he scores the 3-pointer. Assist to De'Aaron Fox. Little two-man game there. The baseline cut. Sabonis found him, and then Domas camped out on the wing. Fox threw it back to him, and nobody was even close from a Phoenix standpoint.
All right, so the Kings led all of the first half, trying to go wire to wire, but I actually, on the halftime show with Henry, was talking about how I wasn't feeling great about it because Kings were only up 5 at the half. They had been the better team, but the offensive rebounds allowed, the turnovers that they were giving up had made it a 5-point game. Booker was in check. I thought the Kings were shooting great. I'm like, this actually is not a good sign unless they can duplicate what they were doing and clean up some of those miscues, which I would say they did partly, but it got worse before it got better.
Nurkic channels off the inbounds, hands to Jones. Jones hesitates, goes to two-point range, skips across court. First done baseline to Nurkic. He's been in the paint the whole sequence. They dump it out to the corner, got a three that hits the side of the backboard, comes back to Jones, and he converts on the second chance opportunity. That's 16 offensive rebounds and 2 more points as a result. Killing the Kings in that sense.
Yeah, and so the missed opportunities by the Suns, but their own opportunity of getting right back to the basketball, taking advantage of some poor rebounding early on for the Kings. By the end of the game, the Kings won the rebounding battle, believe it or not, 45-40. The other thing the Kings started to do well during the game, and it seems like in every pregame show, whatever assistant coach or head coach, if G-Man interviews Mike Brown, they all talk about pushing the pace. And I think they honestly, I haven't felt like they've done that nearly enough. Well, they got going last night, and the fast break became their friend.
Lyles tips the rebound to Doug McDermott. He, in turn, to Fox. Long lead pass, breaking to the basket. Trey Lyles for the layup. What a great find by De'Aaron Fox. 11 points for Lyles. Kings lead by 9, 83-74. Great look up the floor. And Fox now with his 6th assist of the evening.
All right. The Kings then would start to extend. By halftime, they knew DeRozan was out. Keon Ellis started the second half. They were playing good defense. Offense continued to go, and really everybody was contributing.
Gives to Keon Ellis, sprints into the front court, slows, hands it off to De'Aaron. Fox now drives right, bumped by Ty Washington, out to Herter, uncovered for 3. He's got the triple. The lead is 13. Budenholzer calls timeout.
And then let's put one more bit of icing on the cake and a little cherry on top. Bench, deep bench coming in and still producing.
Eludes the defender, drives inside. He'll go for the floater. Too strong. Lynn with a rebound. Didn't look to put it back. Skipped it out to Colby Jones. Colby hits the 3 just as time was expiring. Kings tie their season high with 15 3-pointers. Well, that one's going down. 15 for 28.
That's where they would end. Convincing win. 2 wins over the Suns. They'll still play them 2 more times. You just don't know if tiebreakers will be an issue. Well, they've guaranteed at least a season series split. And they did a great job of taking advantage of what they had in their favor. And that was playing them without Kevin Durant. They find out before the game that Bradley Beal and Grayson Allen didn't play. Didn't mean it was going to be a gimme. Didn't mean that you just show up and you expect to get the victory. The Kings have been guilty of that in the past. I think they had the right approach. They played the right way. There's certainly things to clean up, but we've been talking about them at home, and they still haven't established Golden One as their dominant home court. But when you win the first game of a homestand, there's 3 more to go, and there's some winnable games on this homestand. Doesn't mean that, like I said, doesn't mean that just fall into place. But I just think they had the right approach, certainly the success. And I think we had a text or a tweet earlier, a text from from a chat, I should say, from the YouTube, that was saying, is there any coincidence that the 3-ball and the offense worked better without DeRozan? My pushback on that would be, actually, this started from the beginning of the game. DeRozan played a lot of the first half. The first half, they were making threes. They shot the ball amazingly, so I think it was already happening. But I think they're still in the process of figuring all that out. You don't want to lose out on the greatness that is DeMar DeRozan. Let's just remember, they played this team 4 days ago in Phoenix, and the reason, probably the largest reason why they won that game was DeMar DeRozan. The Kings were in trouble in the fourth quarter. He took over. He scored 16 in the fourth, scored 8 in overtime. He was amazing. So they got to find the amazingness of every single player and how they can best utilize that. DeRozan's just a lethal weapon. He's been a great King so far. And they are game by game figuring out how to utilize all of their strengths. And you could argue they've played more of the way they did in the second half for longer. That's been kind of the system they've had in place with the bulk of these players. So they'll get it all sorted out. You don't want to lose out on what you're missing from DeRozan. Look, they also miss Malik Monk. He's their best bench player. But look how well Ellis and Lyles and McLaughlin played. You have to expect and ask for more from those guys. They were underperforming. This team has been underperforming beyond the arc. This team has probably been overperforming at the foul line. So, you take what you have that's working. You try to keep that going. You try to clean up what's missing. And they did a good job of that last night. And so I think to get a second win in 4 days over Phoenix is powerful. They're now 7-5. They're keeping pace with just this rapid rate of success at the top part of the Western Conference. You just don't want to be chasing the season, and they're not in that spot right now, but you don't want to give things back. I mean, just losing to the Spurs, like if they just won the Spurs game and being 8-4 would be, I know it's one game difference, but it would change the metrics. It really would, but they're not. They're 7-5. You don't cry about that game. You just move on, and they moved on and got the win against Phoenix. So I think they've played one of their worst games of the year. It was their worst. The game against the Spurs was their worst game of the year, not I think. And then they bounced back with, I think, one of their best games, even with some quite a bit of stuff to still clean up from that game. So it's good to see the bounce back. Now, can you build off it? That's the big question with Minnesota coming in on Friday. We'll talk more about that when we come back. Want to bounce around the league, though, to kind of give you some of that perspective of how tight things are and some big, big scoring nights in the NBA. We'll go back to that as well before we get to 7 o'clock in Kings Rewind. All of that as we continue here on Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out sacktownsports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on sacktownsports.com.
When an overwhelmed injury victim calls Ashton or Price, we immediately remove their legal burden and introduce them to the very best medical care in the region. They focus on their health, and we handle all the rest. When they reach the end of their medical journey and are reunited with happiness and hope, we unleash our decades of legal experience to obtain maximum compensation. We are real, local, experienced litigators and snappy dressers, too. Consultation's free, and there's never a fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned certified cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our certified cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home of the 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what kind of savings do you have going on right now?
We have the best savings yet on one of America's dream cars. Right now, save up to $13,000 off MSRP on all remaining new 2023 Dodge Charger SXTs in stock, starting as low as $28,215.
Oh, man, there is nothing more fun than an American muscle car, especially one as iconic as the Charger.
They're definitely one of the most fun vehicles you ever drive. But remember, this huge savings isn't just on new Dodges. We have over 200 quality used cars available and over 40 under $20,000. Right now, only at the Hoblet Certified Pre-Owned Center in historic downtown Woodland.
Hoblet really is your one-stop shop for the best deals on whatever vehicle you need. Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
13,000 total net savings on select new 2023 Dodge Charger SXT after $39.20 factory rebates and $9,080 dealer discount. Rebates include 1,000 Hoblet Select inventory coupons. Only 5 vehicles at the savings. See dealer for details. Sample VIN 666710.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is the only store in the world to be named the top 100 shop for 40 years straight. Yes, the only golf shop in the world. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is your unsurpassed spot to find the hottest golf gear, best pricing, and elite expertise. Try any club on the shelf on the driving range for free and let our staff show you everything you need to look and play better. You love golf. The Hagen Oaks team loves golf too. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue, Business 80. Learn more at hagenoaks.com or 916-481-GOLF.
The holidays are always a great time to get together with family and friends, but nothing beats the thrill of Stockton Honda's deals. During Happy Honda Days, find the perfect ride in person or online. With over 400 new Hondas ready to go, now is the time to buy at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com. #1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. Sold on report.
Dunks, threes, buzzer beaters. There's so much NBA happening. I gotta keep up.
Easy there. There's a better way to NBA with the NBA app.
Wait, really?
Follow your favorite teams and the league's brightest stars. Be on the ball with real-time stats and scores.
Yeah?
And go behind all the drama with new docs and shows.
Are you kidding?
Catch every swish, dunk, and bucket. All of this, all in one place, all for free.
Thank you.
There's a better way to NBA. Download the app today. Available on the Google Play, Apple app, and Android stores.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411th North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
Make it interesting, you know? It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sacktown Sports.
Jason Ross, Christopher Laud. See if we can get Carmichael Dave a little bit later. He's battling some migraines this morning. As we continue here, Kings win 127-104 yesterday over the Phoenix Suns, coming up in about 10 minutes. The highly anticipated Kings Rewind. I'm looking forward to it. The favorite part, we've taken you behind the scenes on how this works. Dave certainly knows zero about it. I write it, and that's it. That's all I know. And it enters and gets in that brain of Chris's, and I don't know. Still my favorite story about the I talked earlier about how we came up with it, but I think it was the third one, Chris, that I wrote it, and you first looked at it, you're like, well, yeah, I think that's it. I don't have any ideas. And then after that, like, you've just, the floodgates have opened.
Well, it's usually my trying to think of the word that I'm.
Your process.
My process. My process is I read it the night before after you write it, and I kind of get a couple ideas from that.
Yeah.
And the next morning when I'm getting ready, I'm brushing my teeth. I'm like, oh, I could put that there. I put that there. And so I usually have a pretty good idea of when I get in.
Yeah.
And then as I start making things, I'm like, okay, I get into the zone type of thing.
Yeah.
And then that day it was just like, oh no.
Yeah. I got nothing. But then you had everything. And look, I like all of them. I'm obviously 100% biased. I've enjoyed it, but I've really enjoyed getting the feedback. A lot of people have reached out, just personal text line, calls, yourself as well. So Rewind's a lot of fun. It's just fun for us. It's another lighthearted way to look back. And I mean, really, that's all you have to listen to. If you just listen to Rewind, you'll know exactly what happened.
You'll know what the Kings record is.
Yeah. You'll know what's going on. You'll know if it was a good day, a bad day. You'll know if it's that's bad. That's good. You'll know. You will know. So that's coming your way here in just a few moments. How you feeling about it today? Just a preview.
Feel good.
He's like James Brown. He feels good. So, yeah, that's coming your way here in just a few moments. Again, Sam Amick, brought to you by Jiffy Lube. He will join us at 8. Also, remember...
That's the wrong button.
Also, remember, 7:45, we will have our Jiffy Lube drive of the game. If you heard the G-Man last night and can remember and identify what the Jiffy Lube drive of the game is, we'll have that for you coming up at 7:45. But want to bounce around a little bit on the rest of the NBA last night. We talked earlier in leading off about the great individual moments last night. One of them came from Giannis Antetokounmpo, a game they had to win. The Bucks now 4-8 after that victory. They needed overtime, but still he went off. 59 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists. If I'm not mistaken, I think the 50-point games this year, Banchero had one early, and I think that's it, if I'm not mistaken. And then you get 2 last night. So you had the 59 from Giannis in the same game with the Wizards and Spurs. Jordan Poole went for 42, but that wasn't enough because Victor Wembanyama, 50 points. 50 for Victor. And his stat line was pretty amazing. Let me look at this, bring it up. 18 of 29, 6 of 9 from the foul line, 50 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 3 blocks, 6 of 9 from the foul line, as I mentioned, but 8 of 16 from 3. He made 8 3-pointers. Wow. So Spurs won. They're 6-6. Other individual achievements of note yesterday. LeBron James, it's going to be 40 next month, recorded his 3rd straight triple-double. I think the stat was the last time no one his age has ever done that. The oldest player to do a triple-double in 3 straight games was LeBron James about 6 years ago. Or 5 years ago, whatever it was. He goes for 35, 12, and 14. I feel like people have been saying this for a while. Well, he's going to slow down. He's going to slow down. He will, I guess. And I'll say it again about LeBron. This isn't a GOAT debate. Whatever. That's just, honestly, it's kind of tired and worthless because you can't prove it. If you think it's Jordan, great. If you think it's Bill Russell, Chamberlain, LeBron, Kobe, Shaq, it doesn't even matter who you think. I mean, I don't want to say it doesn't matter. That's not fair.
I still think it's George Mikan.
And that's Chris. Chris has been like the one. You see him on the street corner with the George Mikan sign. There's someone for everyone. The one thing I think is without debate, those other things are with debate. Without debate, there has never been a player at this age, this far into their career, that has been this good. It's not even close. And I want to say it might have been last year or even the year before when stats were showing up for LeBron, like in year 20, that players in year 20, if I remember right, I could be off by a year, 20 or 21, that nobody had averaged more than 10 points a game. And that's fine. At the end, like Nowitzki and Vince Carter and some, they're borderline journeymen, right? And that's okay because they had Hall of Fame careers. LeBron is still a superstar. I mean, an absolute superstar. 35, 12, and 14. Lakers stay perfect at home, and they beat the Grizzlies 128-123. See, like last night's a great night for the Kings. They won. They beat a Western Conference team, and a bunch of Western Conference teams played each other, and they beat each other up. The Timberwolves had a surprise loss to the Blazers, their 2nd and 3rd loss in a row. The Grizzlies lose to the Lakers. Clippers lose to the Rockets. Now, obviously, a Western Conference team is winning. The Pelicans lost again. They are so banged up, so injured, and you almost hope they get buried, right? This was a Kings nemesis a year ago. They're now 3-9 after the Thunder beat them. And just a quick check of the Western Conference standings, which is always worthwhile because this is constantly evolving. Currently, the 5 teams, based on tiebreakers, that would be out of the top 10. The Jazz, that would be expected. The Pelicans, a bit unexpected. Blazers, expected. The next 2 teams, again, this is based on tiebreaker. Well, Dallas is 5-6. So the Western Conference Finals and NBA Finals representative right now is 5-6. and Minnesota at 6-6. Working my way up from team 10. Spurs right now would be the 10th team, the Clippers at 9, followed by the Kings at 8 in a tie with Memphis. Then you've got the Lakers, the Rockets, the Nuggets, who have gotten hot, winners of 5 in a row. Phoenix now drops to 3rd, Warriors, and in first place, OKC at 10-2. So Kings need to keep pushing, and a couple of good days, and they could be way up near the top. A couple of bad days, they're back in that below play-in range. It's fragile, but last night, a good night for your Sacramento Kings. All right, still more to get to on the Kings, including at the top of the hour when we return. It's rewind time. We got Kings Rewind. That is next.
The only place you'll find Kevin Herter is Sacktown Sports.
Herter's open, steps into 3. He's got the triple. Hey, Sacramento, it's Kevin Herter, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Hey there, let me tell you about my friends at the Overhead Door Company of Sacramento. And I say friends because you will feel like they're your friends. They're so incredibly friendly, nice, knowledgeable when you go into their showroom, and you could do that. If you want to curious about, I've been talking about Overhead Door Company for a while. What do these new garage doors look like? What are my options? Go on in. No appointment is needed. Check out the showroom. You'll see. Honestly, you'll see how friendly they are, how knowledgeable they are. And, of course, they would like to sell you a brand new garage door, or maybe you have a question about your existing doors. Can you repair them? Yeah, the answer to that is yes. But if you've got those questions, go to the showroom and find out. I mean, there's a lot of different choices there, but there's also, like I said, great people. And what you do when you get there, look for that red ribbon logo. You know you're in the right spot. They are the top company, and they are so good at this for 70-plus years in our Sacramento area and 9 counties surrounding the area as well. We're going through the process. So excited to get these new doors coming for our garage, and you can too. But like I said, could be replacing existing doors, whether it's at your business too. They do commercial, they do residential. All of this is available through the great folks at the Overhead Door Company of Sacramento. And also, while you're there, we got a deal for you. Who didn't like a deal? Mention me, Jason Ross, or Sacktown Sports, and you'll receive $100 off your new garage door paired with a new garage door opener. Make your house pop, make it sizzle, make yourself feel good about the improvements that you made to your home. And you can check out their website at ohdsac.com or go to the showroom. You really can. Check it out. Meet those people in person. Call them at 916-421-3747. Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, the genuine, the original overhead door. Always look for the red ribbon logo.
When I wake up, the best mornings in the morning light start with Wrangler. I pull on my jeans and I feel all right. Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started. Good mornings make for better days. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmett Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing kit, because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable, and one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 40 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shield Guards Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 void in Mississippi.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda. I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. For your Thursday, a cool start out there. Expecting to have temperatures warming to the lower 60s this afternoon. We'll have sun, clouds, and a few isolated showers possible, especially later in the afternoon. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
At Elk Grove Honda, our recipe for happy holidays is to think Happy Honda Days. There's no better time to visit Elk Grove Honda than during our year-end clearance sale in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda. Welcome to Staples.
Help! My family's in for the holidays and I need gift ideas.
That's why we're here. Staples has amazing deals on everything you need. Photo gifts, laptops, and gaming systems. Even custom holiday cards and shipping solutions to send gifts to the family that can't make it.
Perfect! Have anything for Uncle Frank? I love him, but the guy is never quiet.
Noise-canceling headphones. For you.
You get it.
Unwrap huge holiday savings at Staples. And right now at Staples, save up to $350 on select computers. Ends 11/16, in-store only.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder, thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Don't you deserve healthcare you can count on? Well, you can count on United Healthcare with Medicare plans that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. You can enjoy reliable coverage and low out-of-pocket costs with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plans. Made for California, trusted everywhere. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery. One of the most common questions I receive is what makes us different from other law firms. At Gingery Hammer and Associates, we handle your case from beginning to end. Whether your case reaches a settlement, whether we need to file suit, or even take it all the way to trial, we will be with you along the entire way. And because we are committed to you and your case, we are as invested as you are in making sure you get the outcome you deserve. If you have an injury, just call Gingery.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
KHD 1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
All right, welcome into the second hour of the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Jason Ross, Christopher Lott here. Carmichael Dave going through a migraine situation this morning. Hopefully still on his way here. We're hoping. We don't know as of yet. So those are tough. And if you can catch a break and get some comfort, I'm sure he's trying to do that right now. So we will keep you up to date on that. YouTubers checking in. Good morning to all of you there. A big crowd out there. Thank you. Let's see. From Ryan, hope this isn't one of those let's play a good game so people get off our backs and then we slump for another 4 games. Then we get, hey, Ryan, my faith was slightly restored. The win felt good. Turnovers were an issue. Absolutely, they were. but they got through it. But how did they get through it? Maybe you're checking in and go, yeah, I saw the score. I know the Kings won. I saw some of the stats, but I didn't really tell the story. Let's tell the story in the way that we do after every Kings game with a little Kings Rewind. The Sacramento Kings were tipping off a 4-game homestand Wednesday night at Golden One Center.
Welcome to my house.
For the second time in 4 nights, the Kings were taking on the first-place Phoenix Suns.
I done the math. Checks out.
It's true. This matchup would be a bit different, though. Phoenix was playing without Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Grayson Allen.
Hello.
The Suns, however, still did have Chris's man crush, Devin Booker.
Viva la raza.
I didn't know what you were going to play. I was looking forward to that one. The Kings, they were taking the court without Malik Monk.
God, if you listen, help.
11 games into the season, though, there have been some warning signs for the Kings.
Yeah, Dad, you told us.
The Kings' trouble spots have been three-point shooting.
Yeah, Dad, you told us.
And their bench.
Yeah, Dad, you told us.
DeMar DeRozan opened the scoring with the game's first 2 points.
Rose came home, y'all didn't deserve him neither.
However, that would be the final 2 for the new King, as he would ultimately leave the game with back tightness.
Doctor said I need a backiotomy.
The Kings would jump out to a double-digit first-half lead as shots were falling at a rapid rate from all over the court. But by halftime, nobody felt secure because the Kings' double-digit lead was down to 5, and Phoenix's best player, Devin Booker, was held in check. The second half got worse for the Kings as Phoenix would take their first lead of the night and extend it to 4 after going on a 20-3 run.
Oh, no! We suck again!
In the words of the San Francisco 49ers wide receiver Deebo Samuel, the Kings locked in.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
From that point on, the Kings put on an offensive clinic.
I'm on fire.
The bench was not an issue last night, neither was the shooting.
He's on fire.
The Kings started to feast.
Now where's the food, dude?
Well, the Kings fans, they got to eat. The Kings made 14 or more threes for free tacos.
It's gonna be taco crazy.
And the Suns missed twice to get the fans a slice.
Pizza! Pizza, pizza, going tummy. Me so hungry, me so hungry.
All was going well for Sacramento as Mike Brown wanted his team to play fast, play physically, and play together. All right, they checked all those boxes. All that was left was to see how it would end. The Kings would clear the bench and play the Jones lineup. Isaac, Mason, and Colby would help close out the victory.
Victory!
Keegan Murray got the defensive player of the game.
This is fun.
I love the Keegan part. Red Velvet got to light the beam.
Velvet Thunder.
And the Kings got season highs all over the place. Phoenix lost for just the 3rd time this season, and 2 of those were at the hands of the Kings.
You're in my world now, Grandma.
Next up, the Cup, as the Kings and T-Wolves at Golden One Center, Friday night in Group A play, the in-season tournament. And light the beam. Ugh. You got me on a couple good ones there, Chris.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
That's sad. That's sad.
I think I'm going to have to write one in the tone and in the mind of Keegan Murray one time, just to get all those drops.
I've got that.
Oh, my goodness. Well done. See, now, you know, when you're at your work today You can kind of tell everybody the breakdown of how it happened. You're caught up. It's that simple.
Or even better, go look at our social media and say like, hey, check this out.
Yeah, show everybody.
This will show you what happened last night.
That's right. We will have that posted shortly. We will repost for all of you to enjoy. Really a nice night. It was. And I'm glad the Kings had that success, especially after the last game. I know I read that earlier about Ryan saying, I hope this isn't one of those games, play bad and then get right back on track. But that's a little bit how the schedule goes. I mean, if you're a good team, and I think the Kings are there, I think they're a good team. I think we all probably would feel safe to say that's what they are. They're not a great team. They can work to get to a great team. This is a good team. When you're a good team, you play poorly, generally you bounce back. I think they're playing a good team on Friday in the Minnesota Timberwolves. They've lost 3 in a row. I know the Kings are going to get the best performance from Minnesota. So how do the Kings respond to that come Friday? They play the second night of a back-to-back on Saturday with the Jazz, and then it's, Atlanta on Monday. So, I mean, this is a homestand that you hope you can get 3 wins. I mean, why not try to get all 4, obviously? But you just want to keep this thing going in positive direction. And when you have the setbacks like they did to the Spurs or any other game that they've lost, you want to really try to minimize that. They started the season 0-2. Since then, what are they? 7-3 in their last 10. That's good. If you could keep doing that for 10 game stretches, you're going to have a nice season. So I would say, I think we could all probably agree, I think, and maybe some don't, but I feel pretty comfortable, and it's not this outlandish statement, but I really feel strongly about this Kings team being a good team. They're good. And can they work themselves to being great? I think there are some things there, and I think the areas to fill in the most, obviously the shooting feels like it's been an outlier, but I'm keeping my eye on that. Last night was better, but I'm not sold that it's all back. I think they could continue their relative success at the foul line. They're shooting above their norm, but I think DeMar DeRozan helps that incredibly about the amount of times they get to the line and how good he is at the line. The defense, again, I don't think we've spent enough time talking about how just improved the defense looks. And I would say the bench has to consistently play better. So those things, I think the bench's biggest impact, honestly, is if they make shots. The starters, I think, are going to do it more consistently. But when the bench is missing on the same night the starters are, this team just shrinks. And so if you could have a night, and that's what you have the bench for. It's like, the bench won on the game tonight. Wasn't the case last night, but the bench supported the game. They were great. And you had best performances of the season for Lyles and for McLaughlin. I thought Keon did a nice job in the minutes he had, and he had to be jumped into the starter role in the second half. And so you just saw more of a collective effort, and we'll get some post-game reaction a little bit later in the show. I know Mike Brown was pleased with the deeper bench, even when they got in. The game's over, but you still want that group to play the right way, and I think they did that too. So there were a lot of things to be pleased about from yesterday, and we'll talk a little bit more about those all when we come back. Is we will have our best and worst of the Kings kind of a thought of how they've done the last 2 games. And still some post-game reaction. Jiffy Lube Drive the Game coming up at 7:43. But when we come back, we've got 3 for Madness. 3 questions, 3 answers. That's all straight ahead here on Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
At the law offices of Dale R. Gomes, we understand that when you're facing a crisis, you need more than just a lawyer. You need a team. Our dedicated attorneys work together, combining decades of experience to guide you through personal injury or criminal defense matters with care and expertise. We're committed to supporting you every step of the way, ensuring your voice is heard and your rights are protected. With offices in Sacramento and El Dorado County, reach out to the law offices of Dale R. Gomes today, 916-999-9033, or online at dalegomslaw.com.
The holidays are always a great time to get together with family and friends, but nothing beats the thrill of Stockton Honda's deals. During Happy Honda Days, find the perfect ride in person or online. With over 400 new Hondas ready to go, now is the time to buy at Northern California's #1 Honda deal, Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. Sold on report.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
All right, let's roll along here. It's time for 3 for Madness. 3 questions, 3 answers. Chris, what do you got? Oops, I'm not hearing you, Chris.
Well, I probably better look at what we got here, huh?
Okay, yeah.
If the Kings play like they did last night, every night, how many games would they win?
All of them. Every single one of them. The entirety of it all. I don't know. I think the situation like last night, as good as I've been saying they played, and again, I think they did so many good things. The trouble spots, like they were playing with fire with the turnovers. They were playing with fire with the offensive rebounds in the first half. And we still have to point out, the Kings were shorthanded. The Suns were without 2/3 of their big three. So they didn't have Bradley Beal. They didn't have Kevin Durant. And Grayson Allen's an important piece to the puzzle. But still, that's part of the league. That's what happens. There'll be other games. Well, the Kings will be at a rest or health-wise disadvantage against another team. So you still play them. And, I think if the Kings played like this last night, which is pretty close to as good of a version as we've seen this year, I mean, we're talking about one of the best teams in the West. And I'm going to go back to what I said when the season was leading up and people were kind of giving, hey, what's your thoughts? How many wins for the Kings? I said, this is such a hard answer. I know I could come up with a number and I thought they'd be close to 50, and they still are kind of tracking that number right now, right about on that kind of high 40s pace. But my overall stance was, I think there's a lot of teams in the West that by definition, my definition was if everything goes right, I think the Kings could finish as the #1 team in the West. Doesn't mean they're getting to the finals. Doesn't mean they're truly the best team. But regular season, you have to have a lot of things go in your favor. And for the most part, a lot of that has to deal with injuries. And let's take a couple of teams, for example. A team the Kings had all sorts of trouble with last year, the New Orleans Pelicans. They couldn't be more injured. Zion's out. DeJounte Murray's out. CJ McCollum is out. They've had other, Herb Jones had missed some time. Like they've been decimated by injuries, and they're 3-9. They've lost 6 in a row. Their season so far has been dictated on the people that are out. Now, at the top of the conference is OKC. This is a team that a lot of people thought would finish first. They still may. But they've got a really significant injury in Chet Holmgren, and he's going to be out 8 weeks. Now, right now they're handling it. Over time, will it have an impact? I think it'll have some. How much of one? How good of a team are they? How much can they withstand that kind of injury? The Warriors missed Steph Curry for a couple of games. They're still 9-2, but it was a couple, not real damage there. Durant's going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks. Do the Suns, take a little bit of a dip here? So the point being is, if they play like that and stay healthy, I think the Kings can really get closer to being one of the great teams. They haven't shown us that in the first 12 games. I would say they've been a little bit more consistent than inconsistent, but it's a fragile line, and you want more and more people to have career years. You have 3 people playing like all-stars. That's really good in Sabonis, Fox, and DeRozan. The consistency, if they can keep getting games like that from Herter, look at how much better and more depth to the team it looked like. Keegan also played really well. Then you spread it down to the bench, and you had more players playing well. If that list on your roster on a night-to-night basis gets to 6, 7, 8 players playing well, you got great chances to win, especially with the kind of talent they have. So I love that the defense has been reliable and the offense has been good enough, but we know there's more. So that's what's exciting to me, and we'll kind of continue to evaluate how this goes. All right, let's get to question number 2 in 3 for Madness.
Question 2.
Who gets your game ball?
My game ball last night. By the way, Chris, who would get yours? Do you have one, a pick for last night?
Yeah, Devin Booker.
On the losing team? Get Devin Booker.
I got to get it to D Fox.
Let me give the last lines for Devin Booker. 6 of 16, 1 of 4 from 3, 5 of 6 from the foul line, 3 boards, 5 assists, 18 points, plus minus 16.
Man, I felt bad for him because he was just trying to make everything happen, and he did not have the tools
No,
to make it happen.
And then, like I said earlier, like I thought the Kings defended him really, really well. And then, yeah, like guys like Okogie and a few others had their games. And I heard a couple of people like, we make them look like all-stars. That's the point. You don't want Booker to look like a Hall of Famer on the night. I mean, Booker scored 70 in the league in a game. So you keep him to 18 without their other 2 best scorers. You've done a great job because so much of it was probably planned to go through Booker. Kings cut that off, and so opportunity for a guy like Okogie to have 25 points, a near career high for him. But the Kings shut off the water on Booker, so that was great. Who did you say? You said Fox?
Yeah.
Who did you give it to? Yeah, I thought Fox kind of had really good recognition of knowing that his running mate, DeMar DeRozan, had back tightness and then left the game, and they needed a pickup. So many guys played well. I'm with you. I would go Fox, too. He had a double-double with 29 and 10. Also had 6 boards, 3 and make it 2 steals and a block. But there's anybody that's spent any time either at the game or watching De'Aaron Fox, you can just tell when there's just a more engaged / sense of urgency, intensity level to De'Aaron. When he does that, he's one of the best players in the league. He really is. And I think he started to hit that switch yesterday. And he was awesome. I'm with you, Chris. He gets my game ball as well. All right, question number 3.
3.
Rate this coming sports weekend from 1 to 10.
Well, this was a question Dave put here on our rundown. It's pretty darn close to a 10. I mean, you don't have every sport playing, but between college football on Saturday, the NBA going now in we're in week 3 or 4, and there's some great NFL games. There's the fights we were talking about yesterday. Did you say you were interested in
no,
Tyson Paul? You're not.
I don't want to spend any of my time thinking about the Paul brothers.
Any factor that it's free. Well,
no. Here's
Netflix
the thing:
isn't free, but you know what I mean.
Since it is free, I know if something happens, it's going to be on social media. So I don't want to see him.
I think I know the answer to this question. What do you want to happen?
I just want him. I would like them to just come together, ring the bell, and Mike Tyson just punches him and knocks him out.
One shot. Actually, that'd be pretty amazing. That'd be really amazing if something like that happened. And then we get to the NFL weekend. Ravens, Steelers, the importance of the Niners game this week, Chiefs, Bills. There's some good, and then just tonight, the getting it started, Commanders and Eagles, and all these things that are out there for potential big time matchups. Go with the fights. I know Dave said about an MMA on Saturday as well. The college football, the Kings playing Friday and Saturday night. It's not a 10, but it's that 8 range, 8, 9. It's a really good sports weekend ahead, and I think we all need that. We all deserve that. We all should be looking forward to that escape. The passion that we all have as fans. That's why we do this. That's why we love this. And it's and you get the frustration. You wear it on your sleeve, the emotions of it all, the difficult nature of when it goes wrong. The funny thing for me is, Chris, I'm trying to think of your fandom. Has there been anything ever so rough that has made you go like, I'm not going to do this? Like Dave actually is like, why do I support this team? And I don't know. I know sometimes that's a little bit theatrical, but sometimes I believe him. Like, man, I think would he actually stop following a team or this team, or maybe follow less? But like, I'm always coming back. I'm a glutton for punishment.
I was going to say no. I can't say that the team would make me stop watching the team.
An owner or a player or a coach or some sort of like controversial thing.
Like, very well, I was a very big Red Sox fan.
Yep.
But I just cannot stand their ownership. I think they're awful. I think they're awful in not only owning the Red Sox, but every single sports entity that they own. They're just in it for money in reality. And I'm like, I am not supporting this anymore. So that's where I sit on that. But there's nothing that the team could do that would make me stop watching them.
Did the Red Sox also kill your, I mean, you liked baseball. Like, you don't even really care about it anymore.
Yeah.
Did they do that too?
Yeah, because it's one of those things like, okay, I don't have a team.
Yeah.
I don't. Then, like, the other thing is just like, okay, like, I'll watch games from time to time. Then the other big thing was just the whole Oakland situation is like, all right, like, they literally do not care about fans. I have no problem with not paying attention to them anymore.
It would be weird because you and I can't relate to this. For you, you've been here, what, almost 15 years?
A little over 15.
Over 15 years. So for the most part, you know what's going on in every Kings game. You either watch it, you're either there, you've listened to it, you've worked them. I don't know what it would be like if I didn't work for the team anymore. Like, I know I would still follow. That's such a weird spot. So if they're 10-72, it's like, it's a terrible year, but I'm here.
See, here's the thing too, is it's not that I love watching them lose and it's like, oh, that's bad. But like, I don't have a problem rooting for a losing team, especially like everyone laughs at me like, oh, you're a Manchester City fan. You've seen them win everything and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, but it's like some of the more fun times was when I was first starting watching and they would just get a draw against United and that would feel like a win.
Yeah.
It would be like, yeah, F you.
Well, that's the thing. Sometimes expectations, when you've had a good team
like
and you're down, that's tough.
The terrible Kings teams that would somehow beat the Warriors, that would like make my season.
Yeah, and that's the stuff I remember from the beginning and seen videos of the beginning when they were here, and the Kings would win 22 games, but they would beat the defending champion Lakers and Magic Johnson, or beat Larry Bird and the Celtics at Arco then, and that was the season. It's like, yeah, but remember we beat Boston. Yeah, you won 21 games, but it didn't matter. Like that was a different time. And I think now when you become a better team, and the Kings have not been like this dominant team by any means, but they've been better the last couple of years.
And there's always moments too, like that Tyreek game winner against the Grizzlies.
Yeah, they weren't a great team, but that was so cool. Like that feels like
and
iconic.
also, was it that same season or maybe the next season that comeback against Chicago? Like one of the biggest comebacks ever.
It might have been the same year. If not, it was right around that because it was the beginning of Tyreek.
And like that was just an awful team, but it's just like, oh man, like this is so awesome.
And I think that was in the same game. I remember being at the old studio going, man, this team, they're losing. Like it was such an awful game. And then you just didn't really see it coming. It's like, oh, great. They're down 25 now. Oh, it's 15. Wait a minute. It's 5. Like, are they going to? And then when they did it, it's like, is this the greatest of all time? And you can just turn.
It was really, what's funny, I had to go back and watch it because I was doing pub quiz with a couple of my friends, and they're showing it at the bar, but it was like volume off type of thing. And we kind of looked up, and it was like that 30-point thing. It's like, geez. It's like we're doing pub quiz, not paying attention. It's one of those things like someone looked up and like, whoa. They're like 2 behind.
Yeah. It just happened, right?
And like that was crazy is because I was telling a friend of this that moved away, and I said, like, I was saying something about the Kings, like, who cares? And I'm just like, you weren't really in the city when the Kings are good. It's just like, it's a completely different feeling, because I remember that moment. They were terrible, but at that moment, the entire bar just switched and like was completely invested. And we knew they weren't a playoff team. We weren't, but it's just like, are they going to do this?
Yeah, absolutely crazy. That's why you do it. And yeah, for this weekend, we're going to see more moments like that this overall sports weekend. Yeah, I rated about an 8 from our question there from 3.
Oh, for me, it'd probably be about a 6.
This weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No English Premier League soccer games.
None?
No.
Why?
International break. Oh, they have to go back to their countries and play for their country.
That wasn't a drop, everybody. That was Chris. All right, we'll break here. The Kings, the last 2 games, we've kind of seen the best and the worst of them. We'll get some post-game audio as well from Mike Brown. More reaction to this win. They looked good last night. 127-104. Back with more after this on Sacktown Sports.
Live and local.
With everything 49ers.
Intercepted by Fred Warner. Dives for the end zone. Touchdown! San Francisco! Lob ball. George went up and caught the ball. Touchdown!
49ers play on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. For your Thursday, a cool start out there. Expecting to have temperatures warm into the lower 60s this afternoon. We'll have sun, clouds, and a few isolated showers possible, especially later in the afternoon. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
At Elk Grove Honda, our recipe for happy holidays is to think happy Honda days. There's no better time to visit Elk Grove Honda than during our year-end clearance sale in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Imagine your team always looking and feeling their best in high-performance technical workwear. Cintas can make it happen. They have garments for almost every job imaginable. And with the Cintas Workwear program, you get freshly laundered garments delivered every week for everyone on your team. Great garments without the bother of laundry. That's a real perk for employees. Find out how Cintas can boost team image and morale. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs. You sound very calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Ooma. Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Carmichael Dave with a simple question. What are you thankful for this year? So many things to consider, but one thing we can all agree on is a well-running vehicle to get you where you need to go each and every day. Jiffy Lube would like to say thank you to all their customers this November. Whether a weekend road trip to Lake Tahoe or your daily commute to work, Jiffy Lube has you covered. Serving the greater Sacramento area since 1984. Visit jiffylube.com today to find a location near you, generous oil change coupons, and more. Happy Thanksgiving and holiday driving from Jiffy Lube.
Black Friday savings on now on the all-new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy.
With $8,000 off MSRP after rebates, every new 2025 half-ton LT, RST, LTZ, and High Country in stock at Maida Chevy.
Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections of new 2025 Silverados in the Sacramento area.
$8,000 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, leasing, and other offers. Ends 12/1/24. Source internet search 11/2/24.
Hey Aggie fans, head coach Tim Plow here. Join us in Shredville November 16th for our final home game of the season as we take on the Montana State Bobcats, 5 p.m. This is your chance to send off the seniors in style that have given all for the football team. Football in the fall is what it's all about. So bring your friends and family out to UC Davis Health Stadium and let's get the stands rocking for an important game. Get your tickets today at ucdavisaggies.com/tickets. Go Aggies.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
The only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and local.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
So this one is over. Bowl made the free throw for the three-point play. The final score is 127-104. Sacramento gets the victory.
We've seen quality win. G-Net, great call. This was fun to see. And let's do it again on Friday.
Let's do it again.
Yes. See if he can keep this thing going. They go to 7-5. Complete victory here. 127-104 the final as Sacramento gets the job done over the Phoenix Sun.
Who's that? Who was that?
Dork.
Thanks, Chris. All right, welcome in. Show rolling on. Jason Ross, Chris Verlade. No Carmichael Dave. We've been reaching out to Dave. He did text us early in the day, early this morning, I should say. And the dreaded migraines have hit him. And that just stinks. I mean, it really does for him. And So we've been efforting. He was going to try to get in, and at this point, we just haven't heard from him. So hopefully all is okay. He's probably knocked out at this point, trying to recover, get himself right. And,
you know, it's really weird. I actually have the audio when you talked to him earlier.
Oh, yes. I think a lot of people
said that he was sick.
Oh, yeah, what do you got?
It makes me so angry that little viruses can just traipse in here and treat your body like a playground.
Chris is accurate. That was my conversation. Was there more to it at all, or is that kind of where it ended? Because I know I had a longer conversation.
How did you know that I had the whole thing?
Once you were recording, I should have known, but what else?
I wish it were me. I wish I could just absorb your germs and make my body fight them.
There you go. And I thought you left, but I didn't know if you got the last part of our conversation at all.
I didn't.
Okay, good. Because, boy, did I let him have it. Did I absolutely let him have it. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to visit with Sam Amick from The Athletic. We always look forward to our Thursday chats with Sam. Normally, this time on Thursdays, we'd have Kelly Brothers.
Good at business.
Sports business, but Kelly off this week, so he'll be back with us next week. So let's talk a little bit more about the Kings. We're going to get some post-game reaction from the head coach of the Kings, Mike Brown, here in a moment. But the Kings, the last two games, right? If you just take those two and isolate them, you see a team that I would say had their worst performance of the season against the San Antonio Spurs. Really, besides, I think it was the first quarter that they played okay. After that, it was ugly, and they got outplayed. They deserved to lose, and they did, right? That's what ended up happening to them. And in that situation, it's how do you bounce back? How do you perform? What do you do next? What makes your what are your coaching staff's adjustments? What are your players' mental kind of toughness? And look, we could look at that game as, sure, second out of the back-to-back. Those happen. The whole league goes through it. That was a game that had a schedule disadvantage to it. Doesn't mean you lose by the 20 that they did, get outplayed the way they did, but that was part of a factor in that game. In this game, last night, where they played so well, they had a schedule and probably health advantage, right? Phoenix, without Grayson Allen, without Beal, without Durant, and they played the night before. So they did get Nurkic back. Kings, I think, just set a tone from the beginning, got off to a quick start in the game. They shot the ball much better than they've been doing. And as we said, if you missed it earlier, season best in field goal percentage, three-point percentage, assists, points in the paint. A lot of good numbers. Individually, best performance by Herter, best performance by Lyles, best performance by McLaughlin. So you had a lot of season best. Double-doubles for Sabonis, for Fox. I mean, these are all winning entities. Keegan was good defense, offense. They shut off Booker. Like there were so many winning elements to this team. So we kind of saw the best and the worst of the Kings, I would say, in the last two games. And now that we're moving along into the season, we've seen this team play 12 times now. They're 7-5. And if we're trying to go through some early season themes for this team, I think we're seeing that this team obviously has struggled shooting, last night being the exception. Turnovers haven't been like a season-long issue. There's been a couple of games, certainly last night was. But I would say the two biggest things that have been the problem have been shooting, consistency beyond the arc, maybe even defending that a little bit, and then the inability to get production from the bench. So we will see how that all goes for the Sacramento Kings going forward. So we will get a little more reaction to that coming up. Also want to remind you, coming up as well, we are going to get our Jiffy Lube drive of the game. And if you know that right now, might as well get in line, because people get this right for the most part all the time. Did you hear G-Man say it? Do you know what it is? Do you want a $100 gift card to Jiffy Lube? Well, this can all happen. So 916-339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Be the first person to identify our Jiffy Lube drive of the game, and you'll be the winner of that $100 gift card courtesy of Jiffy Lube. We will have that, some more reaction to this game and the win last night. We talked about our game ball. Who gets your game ball as well? We'll discuss all that and more straight ahead on Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large, because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Give your family a real treat. Bring out all the flavors of the upcoming holidays with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. Napoleon grills that features other grills can't match. They're built different, built better, built to last, complete with a lifetime warranty. All made with premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Just because it's November does not mean we can't barbecue outside. Visit California Backyard now for your best selection of grills and Napoleon Grills accessories.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Coach Doug Christie here for your truck headquarters, Folsom Lake Ford. Shop all your favorite models on sale now, like America's best-selling F-Series. Check out a huge selection of Mavericks, F-150s, and Super Duty trucks, or tech-filled SUVs like Explorers and Expeditions. Plus a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. All in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Right now, buy any new Ford with zero down on approval of credit. Save big with low interest finance rates. And Folsom Lake Ford always pays top dollar for your trade. Hurry to Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, a 6-time Triple Crown winner for sales and service excellence. That's why they are my trusted dealer, and they should be yours too. For 35 years and counting, come down and take a test drive today. Tell them Coach Doug Christie sent you, or shop online at FolsomLakeFord.com.
The year was 1948. The Sacramento Symphony was founded. Harry Truman was president. Jerry Mathers from Leave It to Beaver was born. And Walter Keyes opened his first Naturewood home furnishing store 76 years ago on 25th and Broadway. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with Golf to Go. All those many years ago, the Keyes family promised integrity and quality in serving families just like yours and mine. Near as I can tell, Walter would have been pretty proud to know that those same values are evident today at Naturewood Home Furnishings. The Naturewood team takes great pride and significant effort to offer Northern California families a vast selection of home furnishings. Furnishings that not only last for generations, but also lead to everlasting memories of cherished times. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings now during their Veterans Day Save the Tax sale and get started making your own brand of memories. The Keyes family would love to hear them. Naturewood Home Furnishings off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Carmichael Dave.
He has very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say.
He's good at what he does.
On Sacktown Sports.
First free throw comes up short. Ryan Dunn. So for the fourth time tonight, Kings fans are salivating, thinking about miss twice, get a slice. And there it is. For the first time, I believe, this season, that a Kings opponent has missed 2 consecutive free throws. We'll tell you about it in a moment. Here's Jordan McLaughlin up and under, kick-out pass. Keon Ellis for 3. Score the triple, Keon, and the Kings have their biggest lead of the ball game. Sacramento has made 14 three-pointers in 25 attempts.
Kings would add on one more season high, tying 15 made threes. They only took 28. That's a lower number than they normally would want. But when you make them at 53% rate, almost 54, and you win, all is good. Back here on the show, Jason Ross, Chris Laud, Carmichael Dave on his way. We found him. He is recovered a bit. He's battling through, so he will be on his way. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting show. It's already been an interesting one, to say the least. We're going to kind of do a transition. I had a previous obligation, too, so it's been one of those days. Let's just put it that way. But Dave is on his way, so he will be in here. He is battling through his migraine situation that we talked about. Sam Amick scheduled to join us in about 15 minutes or so. But as we went to break, we were asking you to dial up at 916-339-1140 or 1-800-920-1140 if you knew the Jiffy Lube drive of the game. Well, let's find out who's first. Lance was first to call in. Lance, do you know the Jiffy Lube drive of the game?
Yes, sir. I believe so.
Okay, what do you got?
I got De'Aaron Fox taking a strong to the basket for a hoop.
All right, De'Aaron Fox, drive to the hoop, strong to the basket. How confident are you in this one, Lance?
About 95%. Right when I was turning on the radio, it happened exactly then. So
nice. Well, always we appreciate listening to the radio. Let's see how accurate you were.
Kings having a hard time getting it in. Now they get it to Fox. Races up the floor. Takes it right into the lane. Double clutch. Glass. Good. De'Aaron Fox. That's your Jiffy Lube drive of the game. It comes in the final seconds of the first quarter. He accelerated at midcourt. He took it right to the iron and converted it. And the Kings in the first quarter leading by 6 at 35-29. You're listening to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross tomorrow morning, 7:45. Your chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube gift certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area.
All right, there you go, Lance. Congratulations. You did correctly identify that. Congratulations. We will get your information off the air, but you have won the $100 gift card courtesy of Jiffy Lube. Thank you so much for listening and participating. Congrats, Lance.
Hey, thank you so much. And KHTK 1140 is the best.
You knew it. You knew how to do it. All right, thank you, Lance. Thank you. Put that in our promo file. Lance, we will get your information. Hang tight there, as Chris will get you that when he has the opportunity. There's a lot of stuff going on this morning. So there you go. That was our Jiffy Lube drive of the game.
And Dave will be doing the show from his house today.
Oh, okay. So is he going to do that at the top?
Yes.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Okay.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. It's been one of those days, everybody. We're very transparent on this show.
It's been one of those weeks.
It's been one of those weeks, as much as we can. So I had a previous obligation. I was coming in to do, the plan was I was going to be here till about 8. Dave was going to be here 6 to 10. That was the plan. We know, as I told you, the migraines are no joke. He would be here. You know that. He would be here. He wants us to be here after a Kings game. And then told us it was rough. And so we weren't sure if he was going to be able to make it. We weren't sure what we were going to do at 8 o'clock. If I had to knock out this other obligation, then that's fine. The show would go on. I would do that. But it looks like we're going to scramble, make it all happen. So hopefully that makes sense to everybody and we'll be caught up. And so Dave may be doing the show from his home here in about 10, 12 minutes or so. And I will bounce out and then we'll all be back together tomorrow. So crazy. But thank you to all of you for listening last night as well. Jordan McLaughlin, he had a good game. He was post-game with the G-Man after one of his best games at the Kings. Let's hear that conversation with the G-Man with Jordan McLaughlin.
as they ended up going 12 of 17 at the line. And Jordan McLaughlin has slipped on a headset down there. Jordan, this G-Man, you got us okay?
Yeah, I got you. I can hear you.
How good did it feel to get some significant run and to make a very nice contribution with 11 points in, 15 minutes off the bench tonight?
Yeah, it felt good, man. With Malik being out and then DeMar, unfortunately being out going into that second half, we just need guys to step up. So me, Trey, everybody coming off the bench, just trying to do all we can to help win.
And I'm sure that that's going to be the case perhaps going on here. And it's something, how comfortable are you in that role in now your first year here in Sacramento?
I'm very comfortable. I played backup, in Minnesota. So backing up guys like Mike Conley and D'Angelo Russell. So just going in there, trying to change the game. I know my role, just push the pace, be a pest on defense, and then knock down open shots.
Well, being in Minnesota, you saw a lot of Josh Okogie, and boy, he was lights out tonight here in Sacramento.
Yeah, Josh is one of my good friends, man. He was at my wedding. He knows his role as well, man. He plays super hard. Every time he steps on the floor, he's a great player.
One thing that I'm sure Mike Brown is want to clean up tonight, well, maybe two things. 17 turnovers that led to 29 points, and then 18 offensive rebounds for the opponent. Those are not numbers you want to hear on a regular basis.
Yeah, absolutely. He talked about that at halftime. They had 14 and a half, so we did a better job in the second half with giving them only 4. But, yeah, we definitely got to watch our turnovers, and we definitely got to rebound.
Well, it's always a good night when the beam is lit. Kevin Herter is about to do that. Thank you for your time and your insights, and we'll see you on Friday night.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, G-Man.
All right.
Yeah, great conversation there, Jordan McLaughlin. And really, I think there's some things his veteran experience can provide for this team. I think Mike Brown's still trying to find that trust with this bench unit. And, look, it's going to be a process for this team, and it doesn't happen completely overnight. I think for the most part, though, where I was concerned was the majority of this roster has been together and been in the battles and gone through tough moments, great stretches, playoff losses, great wins, injuries. They've kind of been through it all. And so it was, to me, when they have some tough times, it's like, yeah, they're incorporating DeRozan, and that is a major piece to the puzzle. But besides him, the rest, Herter and Lyles and Monk, and then you go with Fox, Ellis, Sabonis, Murray, like that group has played a lot of minutes and games together. And so last night we saw a really good version of them. And the difference, where was our chat come in here? Honestly, all those threes last night, the team looked unstoppable. Maybe that's my purple colored glasses. Yeah, I mean, that's from Bill and Amy there on our YouTube chat. Yeah, what a difference it makes when you make the three-pointers. The continuity of the offense. And De'Aaron, I know, talked about it post-game, he felt the biggest factor in kind of the rhythm of those threes was their ability to get into the paint. And that's what the coach talks about, paint touches and spray threes. A stat we had on the pregame yesterday that really blew me away was the Sacramento Kings, not this part because we already knew that they were dead last in three-point shooting in the league. That we've known, we've seen it, we've watched it. They've been brutal. I mean, I don't even know what the lowest best three-point day, if that makes sense. So the Kings tied it yesterday with 15 made threes. I'm guessing that's the lowest in the league for a high for made threes in a game. The Spurs, had 22 against the Kings. Boston opened the league with opening night. What do they have, 29, 28? The Warriors are hitting 20+. So to have 15 as your high watermark, it's got to be one of the worst in the league. And most teams make around that every night. So that's been the Kings' best. And they want more paint touches. They want more looks. But the thing that was staggering was not that they were dead last in threes, but the fact that at about 30% on what is deemed wide open threes, and that's defined as nobody within 6 feet of you, the Kings were shooting 22%. 22% on wide open threes for the season before last night. So whether it's, hey, they're taking bad threes, they're rushing shots, sure, some of it. But to be at 22% in wide open threes really started to make me add on to that question I've been asking for a little bit. Maybe they're not a good shooting team. Last night gives you more belief, gives you more hope. You want to insist that it's not just a one-game thing, because there's also games in the season, and I didn't even feel like last night was this, where they could just, kick it in, close their eyes, and they're going in. You just have nights where everything goes. That wasn't necessarily last night. I thought they worked for that. So that game or games are still coming, but it's interesting to watch this team develop, and we're all waiting to see what it would actually look like in front of us when they made their shots. And again, to shoot, what were the numbers from 2? I mean, overall, 64%, that's going to win you games. 54% from 3, that's going to win you games. They actually had one of their worst free throw shooting nights. Wasn't terrible. 70%, 12 of 17. Would have liked to see more attempts. But they shared the ball with a high assist, turned it over way too much, gave up too many offensive rebounds, but they got the balance. 4 starters in double figures. The only one that didn't was DeRozan, who obviously didn't play much and didn't play at all in the second half. And then you got help off the bench, and that was one of the better bench games. So that's what you want to see. As Patrick says, Orlando is now last in 3s, which is funny because they're still doing some pretty good things. They won again last night without Banchero. I believe they're a game or 2 above 500. And so it can change. It can turn. The coaching staff has stayed confident. Some of the players yesterday referenced that they got a few more shots up before the game too. Whatever it takes to get your feeling better about your game is important. And if that's more reps, if that's time off, if that's more focus on it, less focus on it, talking about it, I don't know. That's why coaches try different things, because I don't think there is one case. There's no book on this is how you do it. And you know this, if you've done any kind of weekend warrior sport or used to play sports yourself, let's use golf as an analogy. How many times for you out there that have went and played golf and hit the ball great on the driving range, and then you're a hot mess out on the course? Vice versa. I didn't get any warm-ups. I just stepped up, hit the ball right down the middle. You just don't know. It's if everybody knew, they would have the same routine, do it the same way, and get the same kind of results and success. And so you just have to keep going. You just have to trust your own process, your own skills, and your own instincts, and continue to work at it. And it was good to see that come true fruition yesterday. And now it's adding on, stacking wins, trying to continue to go 3-2 or better in 5-game chunks. And the Kings basically did exactly that. They found a way to go 3-2 in the first 5, 3-2 in the second 5 that put them at 6-4. Now they're 7-5. If you keep doing 3-2 or better, you're going to be up near 50 wins. And so 3-2 is very doable in 5-game stretches. You want to avoid the 1-4s and 0-5, certainly. But if you sneak in a 4-1 and 5-0, there you go. And you just keep pushing forward and moving down. And the season goes quickly. I mean, look, we're already at game 12, and you think, oh, there's 70 to go. Yeah, there's a lot. But in a week or so, they'll be at 65 to go. And it just moves. It really does. The season's not very far in, and we've already seen them play 12 games. All right, first 2 hours in the books. We're going to see about our transition here. I think Dave's going to be doing from his recovery a little bit here from the migraine from his home. I'll still stick around until we get everything kind of locked in. We got Sam Amick scheduled to come your way here from brought to you by Jiffy Lube. He joins us each and every Thursday at 8 o'clock. So we've got that and more of the show as we continue right here on Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that.
All right, so we're going to test on this horrible microphone. Oh, I'm sure it does. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Jason. Have fun. Bye-bye. Wait. Hey, hold on. Hey, I can't hear the station now.
Limited time deals
Okay,
on
there we go.
select
Thank you.
PCs like the XPS 16 that accelerate AI with Intel Core Ultra processors. Black Friday is their biggest sale of the year and the best time to upgrade, but it's only here for a limited time. Shop now at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
It's football season, and Uber Eats is dropping undefeated deals on all your game day favorites. This week, score buy one, get one free Crunchwrap Supremes from Taco Bell, only on Uber Eats. Craving even more? We've got you covered with game day deals on pizza, burgers, wings, and more all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
Order Taco Bell for game day now through November 17, 2024. Second item of equal or lesser value. Terms apply. See app for details.
Black Friday savings on now on the all-new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. With $8,000 off MSRP after rebates, every new 2025 half-ton LT, RST, LT's in high country in stock at Maida Chevy. Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections of new 2025 Silverados in the Sacramento area. $8,000 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, leasing, and other offers. Ends 12/1/24. Source internet search 11/2/24.
Facts are facts, and the facts show that for eliminating hip, knee, back, leg, and foot pain, it's the Good Feet personalized arch support system, clinically proven to provide significant pain relief in only 4 weeks. Good Feet arch supports are designed to help put your feet and whole body back in pain-relieved proper alignment. Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Book your free fitting at Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Welcome back to another exciting game day. Grab your rally towels, throw on your jerseys, cheer, shout, and save on your gas. That's right. Sports fans win big on home game days. Score instant savings of 25 cents per gallon on Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline with the Fuel Rewards program. And that's a victory for you and your tailgate team. Download the app, join the Fuel Rewards program today, and game on. Restrictions apply. Limited time. At participating Shell stations. For more details, visit fuelrewards.com.
At Elk Grove Honda, our recipe for happy holidays is to think happy Honda days. Let's explain. Happy is a good thing. We all like happy. Honda stands for quality, reliability, comfort, design, peace of mind, value at resale, and a lot more feel-good words. Days is how long you have left to take advantage of Elk Grove Honda's year-end clearance underway right now. Elk Grove Honda is located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard, or visit us at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacramento's official home of the 49ers.
San Francisco.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom,
with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
Welcome back. What's going on with you guys? You know, doing this show without a traditional mic in front of me, it's like riding a bike without handlebars. It feels very strange. Chris, can you hear me okay? You say it sounds fine. Are you sure?
Very good.
This isn't some sort of April Fool's prank on me. Okay.
I wish.
Good morning, everybody. Apologies. Things happen, and I am here, and I don't want to spend too much time on it right now because we have a guest. The bespectacled, the one, the only, was going to hang out with him last night. He flaked on me. That's fine. No problem. He was at the game. We'll tell that story a little bit later. From the Athletics, Sam Amick. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, Dave. Where are we coming to the audience from this morning?
We're in the backyard. It's a long story, and it's not worth your. Well, it is. I mean, maybe it's worth your time. It's not worth the audience's time, your time, or my time. So I'm at home surrounded by dogs and other things. As you're in your office. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm surrounded by dog singular, but I'm good. You know, had a back-to-back Warriors Mavs, and Kings Suns last night, so we're feeling a little haggard this morning. But hey,
there's dog one.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
That's right. Okay, so I'm going to throw a hot take at you, and I want you to talk me out of it. And I, as always, as I've learned with this show, I'm in constant flinch mode from the audience because they'll yell at me. The following take is simply just a question. It is for a thought exercise. Please do not read into any things I'm saying as my opinion or the opinion of KHTK or our parent company, Bonneville. So all year, to be fair, I have speculated, including to you, that though DeMar DeRozan is putting up phenomenal numbers, and I love him, and if Melissa and I have a third child, we may name it DeMar, that it might be doing something interesting to the offense, a your turn, my turn type of thing between him and De'Aaron. And to the point of last night, the three-point shooting was completely off. There were fits and starts on the bench. DeMar went down with a back situation, as I understand it, yesterday. First half, I think the Kings were up 5 or 6 at the half. And they blew Phoenix out of the water, and it was by far the best their offense has looked all season long. Is that a coincidence in your opinion?
I'm feverishly typing to try to add data to this conversation because I have a general sense of what you're talking about. But like the first thought I have is just to be, bless you, and
thank you.
In fact check mode. If I am not mistaken, even before last night, I believe they were a top 5 offense.
Yes. Well, depending on the metric, but no, their offense was not like bottom third to bolster your point.
Yeah, I mean, and so, in fact, I had heard our friend Katie Christensen the other night on the telecast highlighting the fact that, they were absolutely killing when it comes to 2-point range, and that, if they could get the 3-ball going, then it would be lights out. The general idea that you're talking about is obviously not very controversial. I mean, yeah, DeMar is an ISO player. A lot of times he's a very good playmaker, but finding that chemistry with De'Aaron, with Sabonis, and that was the whole thing. Is you got 3 guys in that trio who can move the ball and who can facilitate and who really can be the hub of the offense. But that might be too many riches on that front. And if that makes sense, you got to at least figure it out. So I hear you. I mean, I was at the game last night. I didn't break it down with a scout's eye as I was chatting with people on press row, but it felt like shots fell as opposed to, it being a product of the functionality of the offense. That's just how the league goes sometimes, but it's worth monitoring. I mean, DeMar has played really, really well. And, my thought going into that game was actually, I guess, kind of maybe the opposite of yours in terms of with Malik Monk being out, DeMar just creates the kind of cushion that they couldn't handle. They didn't have last year, and they couldn't handle it when they lost Malik. That was really the story of the back end of their season. So, you and I are kind of telling 2 different stories. It's a small sample size. We're 12 games in, and kind of we'll see how it looks from here.
And Sam, I know you get the point. I just want to belabor it a little bit. It's certainly not, hey, DeMar DeRozan is a secret offense killer. To what you said earlier, the offense is actually numerically, for the most part, been fine. It's been the 3-point shots. It's been the bench. It's been the front court depth or lack thereof. You lose Malik Monk, which is basically right now your bench. And it felt like something, and we'll see if it's sustainable or not, but it felt like something like the lid came off last night. Like the proverbial lid came off the hoop. And DeMar is a phenomenal player. He's playing at an all-star caliber level right now through 11 plus games, 12 games. My bigger concern is not, I guess, hey, does DeMar DeRozan, is he a bad player and will he not fit in? It's more of anywhere he's been, San Antonio, Toronto, and here, he is not a James Harden type magnet, don't get me wrong, but he is definitely a ball magnet, and he takes a lot of gravity with him. I just wonder if there is a more than 10 game adjustment point for this Kings offense and the way they're running it to get used to factoring him into that at the highest level.
No, I agree. I mean, I will kind of add, I guess, with context, he is not the same guy that he was in Toronto.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts of his basketball story is how when he got traded to San Antonio, rather than kind of letting his chin hit the floor and just, showing up to work and clocking in and clocking out, he let Greg Popovich help him grow and became a significantly better playmaker during that time. And it happened mostly off of the national spotlight because nobody was paying attention to those Spurs teams. And then in Chicago, that skill set came with him. So he's got the versatility and the willingness to I think, be part of an elite offense. To make sure we are speaking factually, I did pull those numbers up in terms of offensive rating, which is the truest sense of actual offense. They were actually 12th in the league heading into last night's game, and then last night's game bumped them up to 8th. So that is not, whether it's DeMar or a list of 72 different factors, that offense, those types of numbers are not going to lead them to their goals this season. Right. They're just not. This team is going to be offense first, and 12th is simply not good enough.
Sam Amick of The Athletic joining us. You mentioned something to monitor earlier when talking about DeMar. I want to monitor, and I don't have the numbers as of last night, but I know going into last night, not an anomaly, I don't think, Sam. The top 4-minute getters in the NBA, as my dog is barking angrily at it, the top 4-minute getters are DeMar DeRozan, in no particular order: DeMar DeRozan, Domantas Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox, and Keegan Murray. That, I think we can both agree, is not sustainable over an 82-game stretch, and they just lost Malik Monk, who takes the bulk of those bench minutes from everybody else. In your opinion, when you look at this team, I'll take you back to Tyrese Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox and the imbalance we've always talked about. Are we in that imbalance mode right now where Monty McNair is going to eventually have to do something to balance this thing out and bolster the bench, or at least the front court depth?
Yeah, I think for sure. I don't know exactly where they're looking. Obviously, size had been, an issue and something that we've talked about in the past that they'd be on the lookout for. But yeah, the depth is a problem. And again, it's like you have depth in that Malik Monk type area that you didn't have before with DeMar being on board. But they are just way too thin in the second unit. I wonder, and we're still early in terms of trade season and real intel coming our way. But, I do wonder what they're going to do, because it's funny. I was just watching the Netflix Starting Five show this morning. I was kind of chipping away at it. And, Sabonis has got a lot of good behind the scenes insight in that show that kind of reminds you that, like, this is a 3-year journey for this team, where, the footage I just watched this morning was when they lost to the Pelicans in the play-in game. And it just really kind of underscored, like, he had a line about how it's cliche, but true, where he says, I believe that you have to have struggle, before you kind of grow and get through it and rise. And so, like, this is, we've said it all along. This is a really, really important season for this team. And whether it's improving the roster in the kind of way that gets them where they want to go, or the guys just simply playing at a higher level than they did last year, it feels very much like a make or break deal.
In other words, making the play-in. What do we call that, Sam? Is make or break winning a playoff series? Is make or break making the playoffs as a top 6 seed, as they did a few years ago? Do you have a definition in your head of what would make this season from either a front office standpoint or even a Vivekian standpoint?
Vivekian.
Yeah.
For me, honestly, it's got to be at least winning a playoff series.
Yeah.
Because it's a compliment, I think, for even me to have that view on the caliber of players they have. I think, listen, Sabonis, we don't have to go too macro. We've talked about this topic, but Sabonis is signed his extension. He's got multiple years left. We know the De'Aaron Fox situation. The more I've thought about that particular component, it just is what it is. Like, De'Aaron envisions himself as one of the best players on the planet. And those guys at this age, if they are routinely either missing the playoffs or barely squeaking in and then getting their hat handed to them in the first round, that's not what he's here for. That's not, and obviously that's a funny thing to say, because then the fans would say, well, then do it, then lead the way, do it,
Right.
but it's not a boxing match. It's a team game. So, I think winning a first round matchup for the whole group, I mean, their organization has functioned at a fairly high level for several years now, quite a while now, in terms of, all the stuff that didn't happen in the old days, being a semi-normal NBA team that didn't constantly have cultural concerns and dramas left and right. So now it's like you got to take all this hard work and have it pay off in the form of a playoff run.
I make no mistake on my show, Sam, the amount of love and respect I have for both Monty McNair and Coach Brown, though I'll criticize them. The bottom line is this team missed the playoffs 16 consecutive years. And in Monty's case, in his front office, they've brought in Mike Brown, who's been second only to Rick Adelman in win percentage and success. The Sabonis trade, the Halliburton draft, we can go on and on and on. We talked about the Halliburton situation and how it was an imbalanced team. I think that's forgivable. He obviously balanced it out with acquiring Sabonis. But now I look at coming into this year, and we talk about that lack of front court depth. We talk about the fact that the four, if you will, is probably not ideal with Keegan Murray there. It's probably more ideal to have a traditional four and DeMar at the 2, Keegan at the 3, Sabonis at the 5. On top of that, the bench is thin. Sam, one thing that we haven't talked about enough is the drafting of Devin Carter. And I'm going to present to you a theorem, and you tell me if it's unfair. A, they had no idea Devin Carter was going to be injured or already had an injury and would miss most of the season, and they still drafted him. So you should probably question that. Or B, they did know that Devin Carter would be injured and out for much of the season, knowing the makeup of their team. And you should question that. 3, they drafted another guard to go with a guard-heavy backcourt and a forward/center light front court. Should they be a little bit more under the microscope for the way they're distributing the talent on the squad again?
Yeah, I mean, some version of that is definitely fair. I talked to Anthony Slater about this last night at the game a little bit. The truth is, to be fair, and I'm actually going to, ask questions and try to get clarity on this eventually. I don't have clarity on what they knew at the time. Yeah. My recollection is that they drafted him, and then I forget the exact timeline, but it was in pretty quick order that night, I believe, where they had shared like, oh yeah, he's got this, situation. But it was not portrayed in any sort of serious way. And next thing you know, it's obviously a long absence and his entire rookie season being kind of in peril. Even independent of that, and you can always play the Monday morning quarterback draft game. We're watching the Lakers game on the TV last night on Press Row, and this is a team, I mean, again, the three-point shooting was an issue until last night. Here comes Dalton Connect, going crazy in the game against Memphis last night for the Lakers. You start seeing different players who, regardless of which guy you like better, Dalton Connect is out there helping the Lakers win games right now. And he went after Devin. So that one combined with, the Davion Mitchell, like having Davion kind of reunion game with Toronto would remind you that's a pretty premier pick that didn't work out. So yeah, I mean, that stuff is fair to look at. They've hit at some points and, done some things that really paid off. But the tough part, especially with this CBA and the way, that the luxury tax system is these days, that competitiveness around the edges is more important than ever. And that part of that is the draft, not to get too far afield, but like the Denver Nuggets come to mind. The Denver Nuggets' entire title contending fate, or at least a large part of it this year, is, rooted in draft picks that they are relying on paying off from the past couple of years, because that's the way they felt like they had to build their team, to economically make it work. So for the Kings to have misses on the draft like they have is pretty tough.
Sam Amick joining us. Just moving off the Kings real quick. I'm not a Doc Rivers guy. I don't know what Milwaukee's been thinking the last couple of years. I'm going back to and again, you mentioned Monday morning quarterback. We talked about this with Adrian Griffin. We talked about this with the Dame Lillard trade and letting go Drew Holiday. These are not Monday morning quarterbackings. And then last night you see, I think, what was it? Giannis had 22 of the 24 points in the first quarter, and it took a 90% free throw shooter to miss 2 and feel the pressure for the Bucks to get that win against Detroit. What the hell is going on in Milwaukee, dude?
I don't even know where to begin. I wrote something just this week about it. They're stuck, man. They're stuck. And it's funny because, even in the media, we got to take our L's. And I wasn't alone, but man, I was all about the Damian Lillard trade, and partly what I think I see more clearly in hindsight is that, it is challenging when an incredible player like Giannis is shown a commitment to a small market like Milwaukee. But now what I'm seeing that has happened is, they have multiple times felt pressure and felt compelled, the Bucks organization, to go do something flashy to impress Giannis basically and convince him to sign the next extension. And it's happened twice and it's only worked once. Now that's not a bad batting average when you're talking about championships, but they traded for Drew Holiday. That, convinced Giannis that it was time to stick around. Right. They won a title. Obviously now the choice to get off Drew Holiday to go get Damian Lillard is not looking like it was the wise move, and then you add in the fact that Dame is, I believe, 34. I don't know. They have put all their chips on the table. They have virtually no draft capital with which to work. And they have become, even in this early season, as I make the rounds and talk to different teams, all these other teams that are trying to justify their controversial choices, like the Clippers letting Paul George walk away, the Warriors and some stuff they've done, all of a sudden everybody's fail-safe excuse is, well, look at the Bucks. We don't want to be the Bucks.
Right.
That's what we're trying to avoid. And, then you've got, management and coach situation where, John Horst, the GM of the Bucks, it is what I like John a lot. I praised him when he traded for Dame, but he hired Adrian Griffin, who obviously didn't last long. Doc comes in, he did the Dame trade. Those are the moves that are kind of the driving forces behind their struggles right now. But Chris Middleton being out, which is just an annual affair.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And then, we certainly checked on it in Milwaukee and people around the Bucks. There's really no substantive concrete sign that Giannis is going to raise his hand anytime soon and say, get me out of here. Just to be clear, there's nobody saying that. It's just the idea that, how long is he going to be willing to be in an environment like this? And only he knows that. But yeah, it's pretty ugly out there.
And by the way, he's brought a championship to Milwaukee. This isn't a situation with Dame where you feel like he held on maybe 2 or 3 extra years in Portland because he wanted so badly to win a title there and not have the appearance of disloyalty. I'm not saying Giannis could leave Milwaukee lickety split, no problem, but he does have that, much like when LeBron left Cleveland the second time. Hey, you got the hardware. I need to go do something else. I'm not here for a rebuild.
Yeah, and I mean more specifically, this again, just me talking.
Yeah,
I personally think, to your point, that emotionally, mentally, psychologically for Giannis, when I was with them in training camp, he was actually the one who pointed out to me how few people within the Bucks organization anymore are actually the ones who were with him there at the beginning. In fact, I pointed out our Bucks beat writer, Eric Name, who's been there a long time. And I made a mistake. And I was like, well, Eric, and he's not part of the organization, but I was like, hasn't Eric been here? And he knew all this in his head. He's like, no, he's like, these 7 years, I was this many years. He goes, no, Eric didn't come until this year. And he had it all in his head. Like, who was with me in the beginning? And then what does it look like now? And I bring that up because what struck me is that John Horst, the GM, has been there since the beginning. John Horst literally, this is kind of an affectionate, kind of cool, charming story. John literally showed Giannis how to drive a car.
Wow.
When he first came over to the States. And at that time, John wasn't the GM yet. So, you look at their situation, and we wrote about this. Like, there's rumors and chatter that, that John, he tried to go to the Pistons in the summer and the Bucks blocked him. So are they going to give John an extension, which is the optics of that are pretty tough right now. Doc, there are rumors about him possibly eventually making his way to the Bucks front office. They've got Darvin Ham sitting on the bench, who would be kind of a natural fill-in if something like that happened. So I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but with the Giannis stuff, I just wonder if it keeps going poorly and if he kind of reads the room. And, I think to me, loyalty is partly tied to who are you actually working with on a day-to-day basis. And for the most part right now, there's a lot more faces around him that have not been part of his story than ones who have been.
And please tell me if Doc eventually makes his way to the front office, it'll be no disrespect to Alvin Gentry, but it'll be more of an Alvin Gentry role than a Monty McNair role.
No, sir.
Oh God. What is it about Doc Rivers that enamors? And I'm not trying to be disrespectful here, but my goodness, what is it? What more proof do you need? Not that it's all Doc's fault, but underachieved, my opinion, with the Clippers. You had, I'm being really unfair now, but you had 3 Hall of Famers on the Celtics. It worked out itself. And now you go here and you go from a rookie coach who literally had them at the best record in the Eastern Conference, and Doc comes in and coaches the All-Star team, and they've been like 20 and 1,000 since then. What does he have pictures of people? What is going on?
This one's tricky because I hear you on all that. I do. But, when I was around them again in the preseason and training camp, I don't know. Like I felt like Doc was in a good place, that he was genuinely trying to problem solve here and attack this thing. I get what you're hinting at. Yes, he, like the, Bucks ownership group likes him.
Right.
And this one, I am very, very resistant to, there is people saying, oh, here comes Doc again. He's going to find his way into the next, falling up situation. Well, this one is like, again, the front office made the decisions that have mostly led to these outcomes.
Yeah.
And the ownership group likes him. So I don't know where it's going to go. That is something that for now is being discussed around the league. And we're still trying to get clarity on the Bucs side of things, how real it is, but I do think it's worth monitoring.
That's Sam Amick of The Athletic. You can check him out both online and at The Athletic, where you can get a subscription, maybe 2 subscriptions like I do, and share them with the entire family. Speaking of, say hello to the fam. Sam, thanks as always. We'll talk to you soon, brother.
Thanks, brother. Talk soon.
All right, take care. That is Sam Amick, and we are late for a break. When we come back, what are we going to do here? Give me a chance to catch up a little bit since we just kind of rolled into that interview. 4 down territory. We'll have Niners at 9. Weirdly enough, by the way, guys, we're going to do Niners at 9. We're going to do it at 9 a.m. Yeah, how about that? In the meantime, I want to talk to you about a little something I like to call Ram Power Days going on right now at my good friends Hoblet, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram. Chris, are you playing the music? Because if you are, I can't hear it. I'm just kind of curious because of this little setup here. I'll just keep going through the read. Oh, there it is. Hi. There's my song. Let me tell you a little bit about Ram Power Days going on. Hey, look, it's fall. It's like officially fall. It's officially cooler. We had rain yesterday. We're going to have more rain this week, probably. Get yourself $15,500 off MSRP on select new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn 4x4, 17 grand off MSRP on hard to find new 2024 Ram 2500 Tradesmen, and so much more. This is different from the big city auto mall dealers. No dealer markups, add-ons, or surprise fees. And you can take advantage of federal and state rebates with a new plug-in hybrid. No dealer markup on the most popular Ram and Jeep models, while other dealers are adding pricing above MSRP. Hoblet offering discounts. JD Power customer first dealership since 2019. Search, select, and save at hopletdodge.com. Are you telling me, good buddy, Carmichael Dave sent you? We'll take a break. We'll come back, four down territory. Just me and Chris, as Jason couldn't be bothered with working today. From 8 to 10. We'll do all that right after this.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. For your Thursday, a cool start out there. Expecting to have temperatures warm into the lower 60s this afternoon. We'll have sun, clouds, and a few isolated showers possible, especially later in the afternoon. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
DC here, and if you've been thinking about a new car, you gotta see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia. You can always count on low payments and zero down deals with approved credit. Folsom Lake Kia, over 25 years, right here in Folsom.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Shop early, save big, all month long during Black Friday build-up at Lowe's. Right now, get select pre-lit artificial Christmas trees starting at just $59.98. Don't wait to save. Shop these deals today, in-store or online, because Lowe's knows deals. Discount taken at time of purchase while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
At the law offices of Dale R. Gomes, we understand that when you're facing a crisis, you need more than just a lawyer. You need a team. Our dedicated attorneys work together, combining decades of experience to guide you through personal injury or criminal defense matters with care and expertise. We're committed to supporting you every step of the way, ensuring your voice is heard and your rights are protected. With offices in Sacramento and El Dorado County, reach out to the law offices of Dale R. Gomes today, 916-999-9033, or online at dalegomslaw.com. Tom's Watch Bar, your ultimate sports watching destination for all Kings games, hosted live by Sacktown Sports. With 360-degree viewing, surround sound, premium food and drink, and game day vibes that match being at the game, Tom's Watch Bar is the ultimate game day experience for all Sacramento Kings fans.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
It's Black Friday all month long at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. When buying a car, getting a good deal, it's kind of the easy part. Where Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram really sets themselves apart from anywhere else is the experience, from sales to service and everything in between. It's why so many people keep coming back to Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. It's because it's the place where a handshake still means something. And if you've been wanting to experience that Jeep life, there's no better time than now. SacSuperstore.com, located off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sacktown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SacktownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
On Sacktown Sports.
Welcome back, Carmichael Dave. Jason Ross is off at an event for the second half, and Chris Ralad behind the glass. I'll take a moment before 4 down territory, because it is. Look, it's been quite the week here for other reasons that are far more important. But we knew Jason was asked to play in a golf event a while back, and we made plans for that, just like if I was, like last week when I was going to the as a plane flies overhead, as I was going to the press conference stuff for Republic. We have different stuff and we cover for each other. But unfortunately, it's something I've dealt with most of my life, is many of you long time and even semi short time listeners know. I suffer from migraine headaches, and it sucks, and it's really simple. And I've come to accept it. If you are somebody that goes through that, you nod your head, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Nothing else to be said. If you don't, it's, oh, you have a headache, and I get it. It's fine. I'll take it. I always say I wish I could be like that movie Powder. As you remember, where the
you
deers...
want to be like the character Powder from Powder.
I only want the one power he has, where he can touch somebody, he can put his hand on them, and they can instantly feel what he's feeling. I would love to be able to say, this is what I'm feeling right now. Because also, there's questions you ask yourself on the inside. You go, Am I being a wuss right now? Like, would Chris or Jason or somebody else, would they be like, oh yeah, that sucks, but dude, you're being a baby? I don't think so, because I physically, like, I won't take everybody through it, but this morning hit me about 1 a.m. I popped up and it felt like somebody had a Excalibur, the sword, through the soft part of the back of my neck, just poking right through. And generally I can get up, grab my prescriptions, and take them in the middle of the night, and I'm good. Unfortunately, at about I get up at 3:30. At about 2:45, of course, I woke up. I immediately knew something was wrong, and about 5 minutes later, I'm throwing up. And that's a fun side effect of migraines, because what makes dealing with all of you have had headaches, so you can identify with this. If there's one thing that makes headaches or migraines feel even better, it's when you're vomiting and your body is pushing everything out of, your mouth, and your blood vessels are just exploding. And unfortunately for me, it affects my vision. That's a big reason why I'm home right now, because I start seeing double. And it was what just poor Jason, would have had to have canceled his event, because we don't have a backup situation. Unfortunately, I never know that far in advance if this is going to happen. And it is just one of those, you spin the wheel of fortune, and every once in a while, I've been good. I don't think I've had one in a few months because of the new diet and exercise regimen. So this is kind of the first one I've really had in a while. So anyways, long way of always being transparent. Some of you are saying, who cares? Move on. I get it. But explaining to you guys what happened, apologizing to the crew for missing the first 2 hours. Thank you guys for scrambling. And now I'm sitting here in my backyard, because half of my, to take it a step further, normally I'd be in my office, and maybe, oh, you know what, Chris? This is going to work for people at home, but I'll tell you what, because this is now a portable system, because I don't have my, come on, dogs, because I don't have my, my soundboard mixed in. I'll take you to where I would normally be right now, as it gets a little bit darker as we cruise through my house. Sorry for everybody on the radio, but this is normally where I do my stuff. And as you can see the ceiling there, this behind me would be where I have my studio plugged in. That's the window I face that gives me the natural light. And yeah, that's what my upstairs looks like too. If you're listening on the radio, Chris can vouch for me here. I am showing basically a gutted room
Looks like an episode of This Old House.
Really kind of does, as I make sure I don't lock any dogs in. Okay. So none of the plugs are working. None of that's going on. So on top of everything, I was going to come in this morning, and I'm racing there, and I'm on the phone with Chris. And I don't know if there was an accident or what, but my timing immediately went from 7:58 to 8:18, which would have killed Jason Ross's golf thing. So turned back in using the computer and not the mixer board. So I can't hear myself in my ears, but we'll make it work. Oh, here we go. I wanted to address this too. So, and waiting for somebody to bring it up. Fam Schlegel brought it up. They said, remember when Dave said the Kings were going to lose last night? Yeah, look, I said that on Twitter too. I had that as an L. I was preemptively angry at the game, and at the game coming up. Absolutely pegged it as an L. Saw that Vegas had the Kings favored by 7.5. Did not understand that line whatsoever. But as we often say, Vegas knows what's going on. And you get the feeling that Vegas had some sort of an early line that Bradley Beal was not going to play. I'm not going to couch that as an excuse because I think the Kings would have beat them with or without Bradley Beal. I also would love to say that I was trying to do a reverse jinx, as I often will. Nope, I'm always honest with you. That was not a reverse jinx. I really did think that the team was going to lose. And what I'll probably do here, Chris, by the way, I know I took a lot of this here, is we'll just probably push everything forward. We'll figure out. We'll do 4 down territory next. And then
how about we do 4 down territory at 9:12?
At 9:12, there you go, because we'll do Niners at 9, at 9. So what happened last night, I think, was incredibly interesting, and credit where credit's due. That's the team we've been waiting to see. That's the team where if they play, in fact, one of my questions I think I asked in 3 for Madness, again, wasn't here for that, was, there we go. If the Kings played like they did last night, every night, how many games would they win? Chris, do you happen to remember what Jason said, what you guys said?
A lot of stuff was going on at that time. I want to say Jason said, I don't think he gave a number, but it was basically they're a top team in the NBA. Yeah,
I think the number I would have given is 50 to 55. And I think they would cruise to that. Bench points, 46. And they were hovering around the high teens to low 20s for their previous 4 or 5 games. Look, let's just all be really clear. They are not going to shoot what I think they shot over 50% last night from beyond the arc. I'm bringing it up right now. 53.6% from beyond the arc, 64.1%. And what's really kind of hilarious about that whole thing, I want to say they shot a season low from the line, 12 of 17, 70%. So even with that, they only missed 5 free throws last night. They did things last night that they had not done all year long, and I could not be happier. Now, that being said, we'll talk about this later, kids. They're 7-5. They got a nice home win, too, which I love. Here's the drill. They just beat Phoenix. Let's not San Antonio again. Now, Minnesota is not San Antonio, but you know what would make us all really, really happy? How about beating Minnesota? And I can even handle a loss to Minnesota, but let's beat Minnesota, a full-strength Minnesota team, and not lose to Utah or Atlanta, who they've beaten on the road. And now all of a sudden we're righting the ship. And we're going to talk a little bit more about DeMar DeRozan and his presence or lack thereof last night, and whether or not I am overplaying the effect of that. We will take a break. When we come back, we got a lot to do here, kids. We've got who's hot, who's not. We'll recap 3 in the key from Kings and Suns last night and a few other things before we get to Niners at 9. It's Carmichael Dave and Christopher Laud right here on SmackDown. But before we break, and do me a favor, Chris, turn that down just a little bit. I went back and listened because I know I'm not on my normal microphone, and it's kind of drowned me out just a tad, and that's my own fault because I asked you to turn it up. American Energy. I'll give you a different read than I normally do today, because I've told you before having been in this job over 20 years and endorsing things to y'all for over 20 years, I always say I would never endorse something to you that I haven't used myself, or, because I know where you're going here, guys, that I would endorse for somebody else. So when we get done today with the show at noon, I'm meeting a couple of friends for lunch, or scheduled to at least, depending on how I feel. And a couple of those friends are my guys from American Energy, who I'll either play golf with or have lunch with about once every 2-3 months, depending on our schedules. Now, why am I telling you that? Like, why is that part of my read? Who cares who I'm having lunch with? Because I think it's important, because I've gotten to know these people. I've gotten to know their company. I've used them. I've had them used on my mother-in-law. I've had my dad use them. They're good people, and it's important to me not to just take a piece of paper like some people do in radio. Not at this station, by the way, but some people doing radio, they get paid, they take a piece of paper and they read what they're supposed to read. And they have no idea if it's a good or bad company. They just want the check. I don't want any of you ever coming to me and saying, hey, Dave, I trusted you. We used this company and they screwed us. That would make me feel absolutely terrible. So it is important for me to know these people and to recommend them to you, just like I would recommend them either in my own home or to my own family, which I have with American Energy. They've been in business since 1981. They've been serving the greater Sacramento area since then, and they have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau because of that. $49 fall tune-up inspection, normally $119. And if your system is 10 years old or older, yeah, it's free. $50 off your first recommended repair, half off if you need a brand new system. 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you. Who's hot, who's not, and more coming up right after this.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SackdownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com.
Hey, this is Greg Pop-Up. Are you working through a major insurance claim? Sunpoint Public Adjusters can help. Sunpoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call Sunpoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. Sunpoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
What sets Ashton & Price apart from other injury law firms? I'll tell you. From beginning to end, all important legal decisions are made directly between our clients and their experienced local attorney. A gate agent flying the plane, the receptionist performing surgery, not a chance. There's simply no substitute for the unique power of the direct attorney-client relationship offered by Ashton & Price. And there's never a fee until we win, and between you and me, we win a lot.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Carmichael Dave with a simple question. What are you thankful for this year? So many things to consider, but one thing we can all agree on is a well-running vehicle to get you where you need to go each and every day. Jiffy Lube would like to say thank you to all their customers this November. Whether a weekend road trip to Lake Tahoe or your daily commute to work, Jiffy Lube has you covered. Serving the greater Sacramento area since 1984. Visit jiffylube.com today to find a location near you, generous oil change coupons, and more. Happy Thanksgiving and holiday driving from Jiffy Lube.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Black Friday savings on now on the all-new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy.
With $8,000 off MSRP after rebates, every new 2025 half-ton LT, RST, LTZ, and High Country in stock at Maida Chevy.
Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections of new 2025 Silverados in the Sacramento area.
$8,000 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, leasing, and other offers. Ends 12/1/24. Source internet search 11/2/24.
Don't you deserve healthcare you can count on? Well, you can count on United Healthcare with Medicare plans that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. You can enjoy reliable coverage and low out-of-pocket costs with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plans, made for California, trusted everywhere. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today.
It's time for the Sacktown Sports live events calendar, the hottest live events lineup just for you. Kicking things off for comedy fans, don't miss David Spade bringing his sharp wit to Hard Rock Live Sacramento on November 22nd, followed by the hilarious Russell Peters lighting up the stage the next night, November 23rd. Then get ready to feel those good vibrations with the legendary Beach Boys on November 24th at Hard Rock Live. And for classic rock lovers, the Black Crowes are rocking the same stage November 30th. All of these are brought to you by our friends at Live Nation. The original Jersey Boys, Midtown Men, are bringing their holiday show to Thunder Valley on December 8th. Then kicking off the year in style, country stars Dylan Scott and Jackson Dean are hitting Thunder Valley on January 10th. And the one and only Bill Engvall will be there too, cracking up the crowd on January 11th. Don't miss these incredible events coming your way, and stay tuned for more info. To get details, head to sacktownsports.com.
What's hot and what's not. Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot. And what's not?
It's not good. Brought to you by American Energy Heating and Air, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company and second opinion partner.
Who is hot?
Big man scorers.
Oh my goodness.
Last night was the first time in NBA history where three players 6'10" or taller scored 45 plus points or more on the same day. That was Kat. He had 46. Victor Wembanyama had 50. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he had 59 points.
You know, we live in a world where people in media make these insane, they have these hot takes, and we're always very aware of that hot take canon being around. But I look at a guy like Victor Wembanyama, who just turned 20, basically, April 1st, April Fool's Day. The guy was born in 2004. He's currently averaging 22 points, 10 boards, just under 4 blocks, over a steal a game. He played 71 out of 82 games last year, and he's making 3 3-pointers a game on 34% shooting, which will only improve. And I find myself wondering, Chris, the deal with Wembanyama, and maybe it's unfair. I think we do it because he's so tall, he's so lanky, and let's just be honest, his legs and knees are so long that's a lot of leg and knee to get hurt with. But if Wembanyama, I'll just say it really simply, if Victor Wembanyama is healthy and plays a full career, which is something, we're looking at this guy, he's not even 20, and it's almost LeBron James type feels, but a totally different player. He has a chance at being not just a top 10 player in the league, but to climb up that ladder. The dude had 50 points, and he just turned 20 years old, and we just saw him the other night hit 6 of 12 threes against us. He's blocking almost 4 shots a game, which is like Hakeem-like, and then some. I'm really, really curious to see where this dude's career takes him.
Yeah, I was telling Jason earlier, he's a cheat code. Like if you create a player and had his size and his skills and everything like that, and you're playing somebody at NBA 2K, you're like, no, this isn't real. Get rid of this person. That's not a real thing that can happen. Also, I think the thing that helps him, because we talk about him getting hurt and how he isn't on the bigger side, is it's best that he is an outside shooter and he's not just hitting up these big men down low. Like, he's not going to take as much punishment as we saw in the 90s and early 2000s. So that's going to help his longevity too.
No, that's actually a really, really good point, that he does have an outside game that other big centers haven't had in the past. Also, it's just, let's not forget the fact that it is just the biggest, craziest anomaly, if you will, that the San Antonio Spurs have had, I believe, 3 number 1 picks in franchise history, and they get David Robinson, Tim Duncan, and Victor Wembanyama out of them. And now Wembanyama, he's going to have Greg Popovich, and we all are thinking about Pop. He's going to have Greg Popovich as his coach for the first 2, hopefully 3, 4, 5 years of his career, which ain't going to hurt him as well.
They need to make a NBA rule that they're no longer allowed to have generational centers.
Right. Like, seriously, like, why is it the Kings get the 1 number 1 pick they've ever had, and they get Purvis Ellison? Why is it, the Kings finally get a number 2 pick, and they take Marvin Bagley? I mean, I guess that's our fault, obviously. But the Spurs are the kings of, not our kings, just kings in general, of don't, keep it simple, stupid. There's the guy. They didn't try to outthink it. They didn't grab, who was Scoot Henderson? Was he the number 2 pick last year, I think, or number 3? They did Brandon Miller. They didn't try to overthink it. They grabbed the obvious pick, and just hats off to them, and good job on the ping pong balls. Who is, other than Kings draft history for the most part, who is not hot?
Lakers Gabe Vincent. He had a Tony Snell box score last night.
Yeah.
13 minutes. He had 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, 0 blocks, shot 0 of 6 from the field, and 0 of 4 from 3.
Interesting. And we've seen that line, that Snell line before. By the way, I'm sorry, I'm distracted. I just got an instant message. I won't say who it's from. Somebody heard me talking about migraines, and they have offered me, I'm looking at the pictures right now. They have offered me how do I say this? Non-traditional medication that they say might help. And this one is in a purple cylinder, and it's called Light the Beam.
I'm familiar with Light the Beam.
Are you familiar with Light the Beam?
I mean, we see it after every Kings win.
I didn't know the Beam could help me with my migraines, so thank you. I'll have to respond to that at some point. Also, did you guys go over, and again, forgive me not being here the first half, did you guys go over the Nikola Jokic stat that was rolling around yesterday at all? Is that ring a bell?
No.
Nikola Jokic right now is averaging 29.7 points. That would be Shaquille O'Neal's career high. He is averaging 13.7 rebounds. Tim Duncan's career high was 12.9. He's averaging 11.7 assists. That would be Chris Paul's career high, as Chris Paul's career high right now is also 11.6. So currently right now, Nikola Jokic is averaging Shaq's career high in points, Duncan's career high in rebounds, and Paul's career high in assists. So when you want to talk about greatest players of all time, I think Jokic has jumped into the top 10. Some people may disagree with that, but he's quite good, ladies and gentlemen. We'll take a break. We still have to get to 3 in the key. We'll probably pop that in at 9:12 with 4 down territory. We'll get to it. I'm always happy with pushing things forward. When we come back, Niners at 9. We'll take a look at this weekend, what's coming up, and the rest of the division as well. Don't go away. It's Sacktown Sports. We're right back.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sacktown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text BODY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text BODY to 42424 42424. That's body to 42424. Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Facts are facts, and the facts show that for eliminating hip, knee, back, leg, and foot pain, it's the Good Feet personalized arch support system, clinically proven to provide significant pain relief in only 4 weeks. Good Feet arch supports are designed to help put your feet and whole body back in pain-relieved proper alignment. Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Book your free fitting at Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for Jeep Adventure Days?
Get your hands on one of America's favorite SUVs with savings up to $16,500 off MSRP, or get 0% financing for 72 months on all remaining new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xEs. You pick.
Ooh, and those new Grand Cherokees are really nice.
Yeah, they are. But remember, the savings isn't just on new Jeeps. We have over 200 quality used cars available and over 40 under $20,000 only at the Hoblet Certified Pre-Owned Supercenter in historic downtown Woodland.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet. Period.
$16,500 total net savings on select new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xE after $4,750 dealer discount and $11,750 in factory and federal rebates. Rebates may include $500 first responder bonus cash for eligible first responders and $3,750 federal EV tax credit subject to change. 0% APR for 72 months option is available as a standalone offer and cannot be combined with other incentives. Must have 700 plus FICO score to qualify through SFS. $1,389 per thousand borrowed. 5 at this net savings. See dealer for details. Sample VIN 684-904.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because when people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, they can truly thrive, like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
And Alex.
Hey, Alex, how did the interview go?
I did it. I got the job. I can't believe it.
I knew it. Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom, I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sacktown Sports 1140. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then
boom, with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
Yep. Carmichael Dave, Christopher Law, Jason Ross is hopefully getting ready to tee off and do some good stuff for people, and we'll get a full report on how Jason shot the golf ball today. Chris, not going to.
He better not do bad, because then I'm going to be very upset.
Why?
Because if we went to all this work to help him out, and then he's just like, "Ugh, I just played like absolute garbage. I kind of wish I didn't even go now."
Well, I want to be fair to Jason, by the way. This was planned. It's me that threw the wrench in the whole thing. Poor Jason was going to have to cancel. And yeah. Is he off playing golf and having fun with people while we're here, nose to the earstone or whatever it is? Yeah, that's exactly how the saying goes. But we're glass half open people. And
man, the people knew the texts and the phone calls that both of us are making this morning.
Dude,
to people that you would not be expecting texts and phone calls being made to.
It's been a fun week, hasn't it, Chris?
Fantastic.
It really has. And by the way, are your always like doing off-air stuff on air? Are your plans for next week, are those official in public yet or no?
Yes,
they are. Okay, so Chris will be we'll be without Chris next week, and everyone's favorite fill-in Kyle Ledbetter will be joining us for fun games and really deep pronunciations of Latin names. He will join us, and we'll have him all week. Do you have any special activities planned, or are you just gonna unplug for a bit?
It's the family fishing trip next week.
Oh, are you up in Fort Bragg area?
Yeah.
Look, didn't you see somebody that knew someone that was a cousin of a brother of a former roommate of mine or something?
I think it was my cousin's friend came along, and apparently you told me someone DM'd you or something like that, that there's a text message.
And you, what was it last year? It was crab and salmon, I think.
Crab and rockfish.
Rockfish. That's where you, now, were you originally going for salmon, or was it a rockfish crab trip from the beginning?
It's always a rockfish crab.
And if I remember, I've done that trip before. It's where you basically are pulling the. I can't do this on YouTube. That's where you've got your pole in the water, and you're just pulling up and down, up and down, up and down until you get a fish, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anything about fishing. That's the cool thing. I know zero about fishing, but they set you up with your pole and stuff like that. They say cast it out. And it wasn't last year, but the year before, it was one of those things of you would put your line out and you'd be pulling up a fish every time.
Yes, it's called jigging. Thank you, chat. Jigging is what it's called. And yes, it is a bit. First off, it's a nice workout on the forearms. Secondly, you're just sitting there pulling up and down on the fishing pole, and next thing you know, there's hopefully a nice big lingcod, which is my favorite of the rock fishes, and then Dungeness crab up there, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best, dude.
They cook it right in front of you.
Do they really?
Yeah, they boil it right in front. They clean it, boil it.
How did you catch a bunch last year?
Last year was the first year we didn't catch our limit, which is 10, but everybody took home 9, so it's close enough.
That to me is, if I can find, I need to find a place on the coast. I want to get a setup, and then I need a friend that knows what they're doing, because I don't. Also, I don't like cleaning fish. Ew, sorry.
That's the other thing that they take care of too. They lay all your fish for you. It's just like, this is perfect.
What a great life. Go out and golf in the daytime, and then every morning you start out with your trip. You pull in a bunch of crab, maybe a salmon right out of the ocean, maybe some lingcod, whatever. You have it all ready for you to go at dinner time. And you just have crab and fish every day for dinner, fresh out of the ocean. Play some golf, which you need to take up golf, by the way, at some point. You're never gonna, are you?
No, I don't have the money for golf.
You know what? I don't have a pushback to that. I like to do my thing where I go, no, you're right. Golf is definitely a money suck. But the good news is that you spend a lot of money to play golf, and then it absolutely stresses you out and makes you want to harm yourself. So yeah, it's a win-win overall. Let's see here. The San Francisco.
The funny thing is I always get people confused because I'm the one that started naming the trip. And so everyone's like, it's like the Romero family is it's my grandma's like family. We're the ones that go out. So they're like, it's the annual Romero family trip. It's like, how is it annual if it's not a year? I'm like, well, we could just make it up. I said, it's the 9th annual Romero fishing trip on the first year. And so since then it's become the 2nd annual 9th annual, the 3rd annual 9th annual,
and then every year. So
we always get like a new person on board, and they're just like, wait, what? What is this?
Okay, but this is a question now. In a few years, when you get to the 9th annual, is that how you'll say it, or will it just be the 9th annual and then move to 10th annual?
No, the 10th annual will be the 9th. How will that? It will be the 10th annual, 9th annual.
Okay. You're gonna keep the bit going in perpetuity. Okay. All right. Well, bring us back some food.
Definitely.
Arizona is 6-4. They have beaten the San Francisco 49ers. Now they are on a bye this week. And when you look at that team, it's pretty simple. They've got themselves a healthy Kyler Murray. And they've got themselves some depth players on that squad as well. James Conner appears to be ageless. I'd like to say it's because of Marvin Harrison Jr. And by the way, at 500 yards and 6 touchdowns, it's not like he's been a bust at all. He's going to be a phenomenal receiver. But when you add in guys like Greg Dortch and Michael Wilson, even Trey McBride at tight end on and off, they've got themselves the making of what is a pretty darn good offense that has a number of different ways to beat you. And then you look at a defense that I always say is led by Budda Baker, but plenty of other players on that squad. The question is with Arizona is, do we put them in a, I was questioning the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday. By the way, I got yelled at online by a Steelers fan. We question the Cleveland Cavaliers and their start as well. And I think that's fair because we're just not used to it. But at 6-4, Arizona has beaten 60% of the teams in front of them. It's very, very simple. They have a bye week now, and they have a win over the biggest threat to win the NFC West, the San Francisco 49ers. Now, they come off that bye, and they've got a Minnesota Vikings Seattle sandwich. They go up to Seattle, play them. Then they go into Minnesota. So they've got road games right off the bat, Seattle and Minnesota coming off the bye. Then they come home for Seattle. They've got New England at home, at Carolina, at the Rams, and then what looks like it could be a really, really big game. Normally, Week 18 doesn't matter in a lot of cases. I don't know if that's going to be the case right now because the 49ers – which, by the way, is also a flex game as well. So that could be flexed on up or down. That's going to be at home. Remember, they beat the 49ers in Santa Clara. That could flex itself back down, and we could be looking at a very, very important game at the end of the season as it stands right now. Arizona is at 6-4. The 49ers are at 5-4 because they have played that bye. Let's just assume the 49ers do win this weekend, and that is, of course, an assumption. They would be tied atop at 6-4. But remember, Arizona having that win in San Francisco, they are effectively right now 2 games ahead of San Francisco, who hosts Seattle, who they beat 36-24, and that was sandwiched around that loss to Arizona and then the loss at home to Kansas City. They beat Tampa Bay. The Niners did 23-20, as we know, last weekend. But you go to Seattle this Sunday, you host Seattle this Sunday. Then you have Jordan Love at Lambeau Field following that. And then you get Buffalo in Buffalo. They go all the way east. And I do wonder if they're going to, I don't know this, it's probably public, I just haven't looked. Are they going to go from Green Bay to the East Coast, as they sometimes will? Or will they go from Green Bay, probably to Youngstown, Ohio, their unofficial Midwest headquarters? They've gone to West Virginia before and camped out there for the bye week when they have 2 consecutive road games in that part of the country. Not that Wisconsin is the East Coast, but it is the eastern part, if you will, of the Midwest. So I would be a little surprised if they did come home between Green Bay and Buffalo. When they do come home, they'll play the Bears at home. That should be a win. The Rams at home, that should be a win. Into Miami, a nice time to go to Miami, the 22nd of December, before the Niners finish up with what now looks like to be a huge final 2 games, Detroit and then at Arizona. We always knew Detroit in that rematch of the NFC Championship would be massive. What we didn't count on is the fact that that Arizona game in Arizona could be for the NFC West title and some seeding issues. I don't think the Rams and I don't think Seattle are really going to factor in. They could be spoilers, but both at 4 and 5 right now, especially with the Rams with that loss last weekend that we did not expect to see. Seattle just seems to be, I like them. I like that they're young. I like that defense. I think they're building properly, but I do think Seattle is a year or 2 away. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll recap 3 in the key for the Kings and the Suns. I have a feeling we didn't do as good as we've done in the past. We'll also hear from Jordan McLaughlin, who joined Gary Gerald last night post-game as well. We'll talk a little bit more about the game for the first time since we spoke with Sam Amick at the top of the 8 o'clock hour, followed by what to watch, and then we'll cross-talk with Alan Stiles. We'll do all that right after this.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Carmichael Dave here from my good friends at American Energy. Cool weather, if not cold weather, is in our future. You know that. It'll eventually get there, and American Energy wants to make sure your system is operating safely and properly. So now is the time to take advantage of the $49 fall tune-up inspection. That's regularly $119, but includes a full safety and duct inspection. And if your system's over 10 years old, it's free. The tune-up is on American Energy. Give them a call right now. They're offering $50 off your first recommended repair, or if you need a new furnace, that's half off the price of a new unit. American Energy been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You can check them out at theaeway.com for an instant quote. That's theaeway.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sacktown Sports.
916-339-1140 is your text line, 1-800-920-1140. That is your phone line. We'll take you all the way up another 45 minutes to Alan Stiles, and he'll take you from 10 to 2 as we are on a Sacramento Kings victory day. Big win, nice win I did not expect. I'll be honest about that, against the Phoenix Suns last night at Golden One.
How upset were you with my text to the group last night?
Oh, you pissed me off at one point. You did the Christopher Ladd did the whole lowercase, uppercase SpongeBob font and said, "Oh, this is a trap game." But by the way, it also,
and I said it beat like right at the first time out of the game.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think it was 15-4.
Nice and early. And it's funny because the biggest problem I had with it, this is my reaction when I saw it. So I'm watching the game and I go, I didn't say it was a trap game. I said I thought they were going to lose. I didn't say it was a trap game. San Antonio was a trap game. So I was actually mad at you for getting my wrongness wrong, but it didn't matter. And, you know, there are times when you want to be right, and there are times when you want to be wrong. Last night was a time, obviously, I was incredibly happy to be wrong. The Kings now 7-5. They have won, by the way, 7 of their last 10. Remember, they had that 0-2 start. They are in a tie with the Memphis Grizzlies for the 7th seed. They're just a half game behind the Lakers for the 6 and getting out of that playoff situation. The Oklahoma City Thunder continue to be amazing, 10-2. Half game ahead of the Golden State Warriors. They won again last night. Now, not only was I wrong about that, I have quite the feeling, Chris, I was wrong, as were you, as were Jason. I don't think we did too well. Maybe I'm wrong about that. And 3 of the key last night. Let's roll that and take a look at terrible. All right, start us off. Kings bench.
Well, yesterday we were talking about the Kings bench. We were having some awful time scoring. Dave, you said the leader on the bench was going to be Trey Lyles with 8 points. Jason said Ellis with 13. I also said Lyles with 11. Lyles was the leader with 13 points. So I would say that I'm closer for that one.
Although Jason did say Ellis with 13. Does he get any credit for the 13?
No.
I
Especially since
agree.
he's not here.
Yeah, screw him. All right.
Next up was fourth quarter points for Fox and DeRozan. Dave, you said Fox was going to score 6 and DeRozan was going to score 7. Jason said Fox would score 9 and DeRozan would score 5. I said it'd be 10 and 10 for both of them. Well, we saw that DeRozan was injured early. Fox scored 5 in the fourth quarter. So I guess you were the closest.
Yeah, we both obviously. Yeah, we flailed on DeRozan. I said 6. You guys had 9 and 10. I'll take the point there. All right. So you won, me won, Jason, a big fat 0.
All right. And your random stat, I'm going to save you for last, Dave, because this was a little funny. Jason said the game was going to go into overtime. Not even a chance. Wasn't even close in the fourth quarter. I said Booker would score 40 points. Once again, not even close. And Dave, you said that there would be a pic of you eating popcorn at the game, but you weren't at the game, were you?
No, I wasn't. So I had said yesterday I was going. There was not a public event, but there was an event we were doing with a good friend of ours who we happened to endorse. It was actually Sam Amick and I were going to do something together, just kind of behind the scenes. And that ended up getting moved to a later date. I found that out shortly after we got off the air. Then it was a matter of, do I go or do I stay home? And as always, transparency is king here, Chris. I did stay home because my wife, who drove the kids to school and then picked the kids up from school, and their school is 20 minutes from our house. She also had her coaches meetings yesterday. Had I gone to the game, she would have had to have left her meetings early, brought the kids home, and then Mason had basketball practice back at the school from 7 to 9 p.m.
Wait, that's a weird time for practice?
Yeah, tell me about it, dude. And guess what? 9 p.m. is a suggestion, right? It's never 9 p.m. It's usually he gets out around 9:20, sometimes 9:30. And then the one time I said, fine, I'm showing up at 9:30. They, of course, went home right at 9, and my son was by himself in a dark high school. Yeah, exactly, dude. It's so dumb. So I felt like that would be me not being much of a team player. So stayed back and got to drive back and forth to Rockland to go shuttle my child around. But missed a good game. A good game in the sense that the Kings won. They set season highs in field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, assists, points in the paint. And that's against the Phoenix Sun team that is 9-3. By the way, they're 9-1 against the entire league not named Sacramento. Obviously, Kevin Durant being out is a major, major deal. It would be for any team. And last night they had not only Durant, but Bradley Beal out, two of their best three players. But it was, in the second half, it was men amongst boys. And you just hope that last night was not an anomaly. It's not because they were playing a bad team, because they didn't do this against Toronto. They didn't do this at this level against Atlanta. They played bad teams this year, Utah, and did not have that type of performance. Plus, Phoenix, by the way, could not hit the side of a barn, especially in the first half. My God, I remember that there was one stretch, I want to say in the first quarter, where it was like Booker hit a three, missed, came back to him, foul line jumper wide open, missed. I think they had 4 straight offensive rebounds. I think they finally converted, but they couldn't hit the side of a barn. Felt very much like Sacramento. So when you look at a Suns team that shot 37% overall, 30% from beyond the arc, and they missed 7 free throws. If you're going to shoot 64%, including 54% if you round up from beyond the arc, you're going to do some damage, especially when you get bench help like that from the point scenario. And I will say 17 turnovers ain't going to cut it. They were sloppy with the ball last night, including Keon Ellis, 3 turnovers. He did play 26 minutes, though. Domantas Sabonis, my goodness, 7 turnovers in 30 minutes. You know, he almost had a triple-double. Hell, he was 3 turnovers and an assist away from a quadruple-double, if you want to count it that way. Just 3 of 4, by the way, for Sabonis. 11 points, 3 of 4. All 3 of his shots were 3-pointers. So you want to talk about a little bit of a different offensive outlook for Sabonis. That's what happened. Jordan McLaughlin, though, 15 minutes off the bench, by far his best game as a King. 11 points on 4 of 6. A board, an assist, a steal, did not turn over the ball. And I think you have it queued up, Chris. He visited with Gary Gerald right after last night's game.
McLaughlin has slipped on a headset down there. Jordan, this G-Man, you got us okay?
Yeah, I got you. I can hear you.
How good did it feel to get some significant run and to make a very nice contribution with 11 points in, 15 minutes off the bench tonight?
Yeah, it felt good, man. With Malik being out and then DeMar, unfortunately being out going into that second half, we just need guys to step up. So me, Trey, everybody coming off the bench, just trying to do all we can to help win.
And I'm sure that that's going to be the case perhaps going on here. And it's something, how comfortable are you in that role in now your first year here in Sacramento?
I'm very comfortable. I played backup, in Minnesota, so backing up guys like Mike Conley and D'Angelo Russell. So just going in there trying to change the game. I know my role, just push the pace, be a pest on defense, and then knock down open shots.
Well, being in Minnesota, you saw a lot of Josh Okogie, and boy, he was lights out tonight here in Sacramento.
Yeah, Josh is one of my good friends, man. He was at my wedding. He knows his role as well, man. He plays super hard. Every time he steps on the floor, he's a great player.
One thing that I'm sure Mike Brown is want to clean up tonight, well, maybe two things. 17 turnovers that led to 29 points, and then 18 offensive rebounds for the opponent. Those are not numbers you want to hear on a regular basis.
Yeah, absolutely. He talked about that at halftime. They had 14 at half, so we did a better job in the second half with giving them only 4. But, yeah, we definitely got to watch our turnovers, and we definitely got to rebound.
Well, it's always a good night when the beam is lit. Kevin Herter is about to do that. Thank you for your time and your insights, and we'll see you on Friday night.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, G-Man.
So cool to see Jordan McLaughlin have the game he had. This is a guy that I don't want to say he's a fringe player in the NBA. He's going to end up on a roster, but he's definitely a journeyman type that is trying to find his way as he continues his career in the NBA. And my goodness, it's been a tough year for a lot of Kings. Including him. And he's one of those guys where, it's great to see Keegan Murray have a great night, or Sabonis or Fox or whomever. And Kevin Herter was once again fantastic. 3 steals for Herter, including a nice little reach-in pick of Devin Booker on the baseline at one point last night that I absolutely loved. But to see a guy like McLaughlin come in, get some run, get some burn, and really make the most of it, let's just be honest, that means more to him. Sabonis, DeRozan, Murray, Fox, Herter, all those guys, even Lyles, they're generationally wealthy. They're set. It's sometimes hard to remember that guys like Jordan McLaughlin or Mason Colby Jones, these are guys that are still trying to get that bag and support their families and moving from city to city to city. So hopefully that's the first of many to come for Jordan McLaughlin. We'll take a break. Alan Stiles will join us for Crosstalk momentarily in the segment after this. When we come back, though, as always, what to watch. And we have some things to watch tonight, including NFL football. Week 11 begins. We'll do that right after this.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sacktown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for 3, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
David Dusek writes in Golf Week that according to FootJoy, about 65% of golfers wear the wrong size golf gloves. A properly fit and maintained golf glove will help you stay connected to the club without extra tension, which can mean more speed. Snug is the name of the game. A perfect glove should fit like a second skin, wrapping tightly around your palm and fingers. If the glove is too loose, the extra material can bunch up and lead to a bad connection between your hands and the grip. The fingers of the glove should extend just to the tips of your fingers. If there's too much space at the end of your fingers, try a cadet version of the glove made for golfers who have shorter fingers and wider palms. The Velcro closure should only require a slight pull to secure it. If you're stretching the strap significantly, the glove is too small. Natural leather offers superior feel and touch. Synthetic leather gloves tend to cost less and probably last longer. After your round, air out your glove to maintain softness and flexibility. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Don't you deserve healthcare you can count on? Well, you can count on United Healthcare with Medicare plans that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. You can enjoy reliable coverage and low out-of-pocket costs with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plans, made for California, trusted everywhere. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the ultimate lunch lineup boasts wall-to-wall sports and scenic views. When you're hungry and in a hurry, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local Lodge.
Shop Dell Technologies Black Friday event for their lowest prices of the year. The future is on sale today with limited time deals on select PCs like the XPS 16 that accelerate AI with Intel Core Ultra processors. Black Friday is their biggest sale of the year and the best time to upgrade, but it's only here for a limited time. Shop now at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
It's football season, and Uber Eats is dropping undefeated deals on all your game day favorites. This week, score buy one, get one free Crunchwrap Supremes from Taco Bell, only on Uber Eats. Craving even more? We've got you covered with game day deals on pizza, burgers, wings, and more all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
Order Taco Bell for game day now through November 17, 2024. Second item of equal or lesser value. Terms apply. See app for details.
The holidays are always a great time to get together with family and friends, but nothing beats the thrill of Stockton Honda's deals. During Happy Honda Days, find the perfect ride in person or online. With over 400 new Hondas ready to go, now is the time to buy at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Number one claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company sold on report.
When you're hiring, ZipRecruiter's technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. What if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411th North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140
on Sacktown Sports.
Well, we had a little bit of breaking news in baseball earlier, just kind of interesting around these parts. As you may remember, Hurricane Helene, actually there were a couple of hurricanes that affected the East Coast, and part of the effect was that Tropicana Field, which was already set to be replaced here at some point, was basically completely destroyed. And then we found out the roof, at least, was. We found out later that I think it was the Tampa City Council had voted just a few months prior to change the insurance payout and premium. It would go from $100 million in the event of something like that to, I want to say $25 million. Don't quote me on this, but it was significantly less. Well, Tampa Bay, regardless, that roof for the Rays would not be ready for next season. So they were in effect homeless, as well as the Oakland A's were up until, obviously coming to Sacramento next season. Well, it turns out that now, as we have talked about and we have suspected, it's now official, that the A's are not the only team that will be playing in a minor league ballpark next year. Is the spring training home of the New York Yankees will now host the Tampa Bay Rays, Steinbrenner Field, if you will, as we suspected again, will host the Tampa Bay Rays next year. Did some quick checking during the break. The capacity, at least as of now, I don't know if they're going to expand it or what they're going to do, is around 11, a little over 11,000. And when I looked at attendance last year, the Rays were, I think, third from last, fourth from last. It said they had, I want to say 14,000. I think we all know that some of those numbers are fluffed up a little bit. I would imagine that's certainly not their season ticket holder base. So what I imagine is next year you're going to have the Rays playing at Steinbrenner Field in what would look to be a mostly full, if not sellout crowd night in, night out. And I will say this, I'm on record that I'm not a fan of this A's move here for a number of reasons. We don't have to rehash right now. But I do think there's going to be something, Chris, we're going to see next year between Tampa and Oakland, the Athletics. You're going to have these teams going from playing in these cavernous stadiums that are spread out like Where's Waldo with fans throughout the season. You're now going to have this concentrated throwback minor league look, at least with two of the worst attended teams in baseball, probably the two worst, along with Florida over the last 10 years. Now it's going to look like these are sold out games or rather full. And I imagine the crowds and the atmosphere will be a hell of a lot better than they were last year, either in Oakland or Tampa. So we have to admit that. It's going to be interesting to see that happen next year, especially when Tampa plays here or when the A's play in Tampa.
It's just weird.
Dennis says he loves the A's coming here. Sacramento finally has a team. Look, I don't want to rain on the parade. Like I said, if people love that, Jason loves the A's coming here. I don't want to yuck their yum. I do have to take exception with Sacramento finally has a team. Sacramento,
you literally don't have a team.
They literally said, do not put Sacramento in the name of the team. They are the Athletics. If you want to enjoy Major League Baseball in Sacramento, if you want to hope that the Vegas deal falls through and that Sacramento will keep the A's, if you want to hope that this is some sort of a showcase for the A's or for baseball here in Sacramento, and that they should stay here or could stay, or excuse me, they could get an expansion team. That's all perfectly understandable. But they are not Sacramento's team. Let's please not go down that road. They have made very, very large strides to ensure that this is not Sacramento's team. And I disagree with that as well. It's another reason. And John Fisher infecting this city with his John Fisherness and having to have not just Oakland fans, but a lot of fans around the world, or the world here in America. Basically saying to us a lot of the things that we said to Seattle and to Anaheim and to Virginia Beach and many others. So yeah, Dennis, it's not the Sacramento A's. It's very specifically not the Sacramento A's, and the A's have gone out of their way to make sure that's the case.
But Dave, they're going to be in Las Vegas in a couple of years. It wouldn't be the right thing to be called the Sacramento A's now.
Yeah, and that's like literally the dumbest argument, as you're pointing out. I have heard this whole time. They're the A's. Like when what was it? I always mix it up, man. Was it like the Hornets? The
Oklahoma City Hornets.
Yeah, the Hornets, but they went to New Orleans and they played New Orleans. And
no, it was during Katrina when they were the New Orleans when they were the New Orleans Hornets.
Hornets went to Oklahoma City, but they were the Oklahoma City Hornets while they were there.
It was huge. It was written so big on their jerseys that they were the Oklahoma City Hornets. And there wasn't any, well, obviously in New Orleans, they had a bunch of other stuff going on that like basketball really didn't matter at that point. But at the same time, you didn't see like, oh, well, they're really a New Orleans franchise. They shouldn't have that city on their name, on their jerseys.
Yeah.
What?
They're just passing through. No. And they had a hurricane. Like, you could have at least said, hey, New Orleans needs all the help they can get. We don't want to take the team name. They'll still be known as just the Hornets and the New Orleans Hornets. We don't want to insult the city of New Orleans. They're going through enough. They had like a world event devastating thing happen to them, and they still were the Oklahoma City Hornets for a couple of years. Yet the A's can't be bothered with putting the city. They're so ashamed of Sacramento, and they are so kissing up to the city of Vegas. It doesn't even really want them to begin with, that they can't be bothered to just let Sacramento have the team name for 3 or 4 seasons. It's not like they're here for 1 year. They're here for almost certainly 4 years, but hey, they're the Athletics. And as I said, if we, their abbreviation will be ATH for athletics. And if we can just nickname the stadium the Hole, I think that will make a lot of sense to a lot of people. What to watch tonight? Week 11 begins. We have a good one on Thursday Night Football for a change. Commanders at Eagles tonight. There's a lot of meaning there in the NFC East as things begin to take shape. And you got to think the Commanders a little upset at how they blew that game last week. The Eagles have won 5 in a row. It looks like they may finally have turned the corner and are figuring out what they could not figure out last year and what they were stumbling with at the beginning of this year. Remember, 5 in a row, that means they started the year 2-2. They have since taken off. The Commanders now a half game behind. They have not taken their bye yet, so they're a half game behind the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Giants. Of course, that ain't happening. That game tonight, 5:15, that's at Lincoln Financial Field. What else do we have here? Mavericks at Jazz, just one NBA game tonight. So a light night in sports, but we will have football before we get into the weekend and what is going to be a phenomenal sports weekend. Obviously, the Kings are going to be playing. That's always fun. You've got football on Sunday. That's always fantastic. But you have the circus of Tyson and Jake Paul tomorrow night. It's free on Netflix, so I'm actually looking forward to that just to see what happens. And John Bones Jones, in the twilight of his career, trying to take out the former heavyweight champion of the world, Stipe Miocic. Injuries have messed this thing up from both sides. Looks like that's finally going to happen this weekend. So sit back and relax and enjoy one of the better sports weekends of the season. We will take a break when we return. Crosstalk with Alan Stiles. We've got celebrity birthdays as well before we wrap things up right here on Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Thunder, feel the thunder. It ignites something inside of you. Lightning and the thunder. Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it. Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Welcome back to another exciting game day. Grab your rally towels, throw on your jerseys, cheer, shout, and save on your gas. That's right, sports fans win big on home game days. Score instant savings of 25 cents per gallon on Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline with the Fuel Rewards program. And that's a victory for you and your tailgate team. Download the app, join the Fuel Rewards program today, and game on. Restrictions apply. Limited time. At participating Shell stations. For more details, visit fuelrewards.com.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for Ram Power Days?
Well, 2025 is almost here, so we're giving you a head start on the new year when you save up to $15,500 off MSRP on new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4s, starting as low as $37,995.
Wow, already that kind of savings on next year's models?
Yep, and you won't find better deals on more Ram trucks than at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center. There's a reason we continue to be one of the biggest Ram dealers dealers in the country, with numerous customer service awards, including the very prestigious Walter P. Chrysler Award, which means we are in the top 1% of dealers in the nation.
Don't miss the savings on new 2025 Rams right now at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center. Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
15,500 total net savings on select new 2024 Ram 1500 after 10,000 factory rebates and 5,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include 2,000 SFS bonus cash. Must finance through Stellantis. 3,000 in Hoblet Select inventory coupons. 500 on-the-job upfit incentive with proof of business ownership. And 2,000 in Hoblet trade-in assistance on eligible trade-ins. 10 of this net savings. See dealer for details. Sample VIN 544-890.
It's time for the news of the day.
The latest headlines, the biggest stories, hard-hitting analysis.
Yeah, this is none of those things.
And now,
here's Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
No, half right, I guess. Carmichael Dave and Alan Stiles, as Jason is hopefully off doing really well at golf right now for his yearly event that he does. Alan will take the baton and take us all the way till 2 p.m. Good morning, Alan.
Good morning, Dave.
Well, you always do that, and it bugs me, and I don't know why. Like, you'll even do that when I call you on the phone or we talk, and you'll pick up and you go, "Hello, Dave," and like, there's always something at the end of it. Like,
I don't know what you mean.
So, like, there's a difference between like, "Hey, good morning, Dave," and like, "Good morning, Dave." Like, there's a difference between like, "Hey, good morning, Dave." That's not me.
Yeah. Just to meet your YouTube there,
Alan.
Oh, I see what's going on.
Rook.
It's muted now. I wanted to see Dave.
Well, yeah, there you go. You just got to mute it. That's all. Good morning. Hello. How are you?
Good. I'm good. Huge win by the Kings last night, but was it a big win? I guess that's really the question, right?
Why do you say that, Alan?
Well, I mean, you beat Monte Morris. Devin Booker was out there, but you beat Monte Morris and Ty Washington.
Yeah. Well, I mean, by the way, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with your premise here, but I would just push back and say, okay, well, they also lost in Toronto, and
that's right.
They also lost in San Antonio, and those are teams that are worse than remember the Phoenix Suns are what, 9-1 playing.
That's right.
Other than the Kings. So
I would also add that the Kings didn't have Malik Monk and were without DeRozan for the last half.
That's right. I am not saying it wasn't a big win. I'm saying that's what we're going to discuss, how big of a win it was.
I think that we've already decided it was a big win. You're going to have to start on something else.
Sorry. Yeah, that's been decided in the mornings.
Okay. Fair enough.
The angle I would like to throw at you is the same one I threw at Sam Amick, only because it's fair. We've talked about this throughout the season with DeMar out in the second half. You saw what that offense did. You saw what that score was at the half. It was 127-104, but the Kings were up 61-56, I think. So they had a 5-point lead. Going into the second half. DeMar's out, and they end up outscoring the Suns 66-48 in the second half. Now, this isn't a rip DeMar session. He's been fantastic. He's been phenomenal. He's been everything we knew DeMar DeRozan could be, and I think even better than we expected. He is DeMar DeRozan. But is there something to read into the offense and how it opened up last night when he was out?
Yeah, I was on that. I looked down because I was sitting there watching the game, and it didn't even feel like DeMar DeRozan was playing, right? I looked down, and I saw that he had taken 2 shots in that first half, and the Kings at that point, they were shooting 53%. So I went on the old Bird app, and I said, is there any correlation here? Not to disrespect DeMar DeRozan at all, but I mean, Dave, I know you've played pickup before. When there's somebody cooking and you're a shooter and you're just sitting in the corner the whole time, it's not the same. Your hands might get a little chilly. It was cold outside versus when the ball is hopping, as Doug Christie likes to say, the ball had energy, and De'Aaron talked about it. I'm sure you guys played that sound. We'll play it as well. So
no, it's not that time. So gotcha. American Energy was earlier. Go ahead, Alan.
So, yeah, I mean, there's something to it. I think the easiest way to put this is that it's all still a work in progress, and maybe the DeMar heavy offense that we saw earlier this season isn't the way, and now we're going to find that middle ground, and maybe yesterday was a sign that they need to get more balance, and hopefully they get there.
We couldn't be more on the same page. It's not a rip on DeMar. DeMar's done everything he's been asked to do. That's just how he plays. But you're exactly right. When the ball is free-flowing, when you know if you pass the ball, there's a good chance you're going to get it back in your hands on every possession. That's a different type of mentality. Dennis, the texter, who is always a treat, points out that you said don't bet on the Kings, 7.5-point favorites. You said the Kings wouldn't cover. I'm going to stand in front of you.
Yeah.
I said the exact same thing. I said that line is goofy to me. There's something weird about this line. There's no way they should be 7.5-point favorites. But as always, Vegas knows, and I got a feeling, Alan, they knew before we did Bradley Beal would not be playing last night.
Right. The line was 7.5, and Bradley Beal. Dennis also isn't mentioning that he went in the chat, and he did say that Bradley, I don't know, Dennis might know something because he said Bradley Beal was going to be out before it was announced, because that was at about 1:45, so I don't know what's going on. All I do know is that I've been here long enough that the Kings coming home from a road trip, even if it has been a short road trip, I'm not touching it. You guys can use your US dollars to touch it, but I'm not going to, so good luck to you.
Well, money where the mouth is, I will just say this. My buddy bet heavily against the Kings last night on that line. Heavily against the Kings. And you know
I
what?
didn't do that. I didn't say bet against them. I said I'm not touching it.
No, money is money. He bet heavily against the Kings last night, and I talked to him, and he said, you know what? That definitely hurt the pocketbook, but was happy to be wrong. Would rather have it that way than the other way around.
Is your buddy Frankie Cardicelli?
No, buddy. I know him really, really well. We look very, very similar in the mirror. It's weird. People say that. Well, they've never seen us in the same place twice, Alan. It's kind of weird. Celebrity birthdays brought to you by Crumble Cookies. Nothing says family and friends more than a birthday, and nothing brings birthdays and families and friends together like Crumble Cookies.
And this is the first time you're hosting today, correct, Dave?
I'm hosting celebrity birthdays.
Oh, wasn't that what we decided?
I got that memo about the same time I got other memos about the.
Oh, I guess I'll do it then.
Yeah, please do. Thank you. Christopher Law, take it away.
Okay, happy birthday today to Patrick Warburton.
Oh, that's
from Seinfeld.
That's wheelchair on Family
Joe
Guy,
Swanson
right?
on Family Guy.
Yeah. Patrick Warburton is 61.
60 on the nose.
60 on the nose.
What about
we do have a correct number.
What?
And it is Alan Stiles, 60 years old.
I did not expect to get correct that one. Wow.
Okay.
Happy birthday today to Ruben Rivera. John Miller once said, famously, probably the worst base running we've ever seen in the history of the game.
Ruben Rivera is 34.
42.
You guys are way off, not even in the right decade. 51 for Ruben Rivera.
Oh, that Ruben Rivera. Sorry. I was thinking of the
Happy
other one.
birthday today to Blink-182 drummer Travis Barker.
Now that guy.
That
Get
guy.
down. Yeah.
Travis is 53.
Really? No.
Yeah, he is.
49. I refuse.
We do have a correct answer. Alan Stiles, 49 years old today.
I'm getting worked. Worked. I
Happy
tell you.
birthday to, can I say Sacramento King great? Carmichael Dave? Lionel Simmons.
Yes, of course. The inventor of Nintendonitis.
How old is Lionel Simmons today?
Lionel Simmons out of LaSalle. Try to do some math here. Lionel Simmons is 58.
60.
Carmichael Dave is closest. 56th day for Lionel Simmons.
Hey, L-Train, baby.
By the way, just real quick, I never said the Kings wouldn't cover. I just said I wouldn't touch it. So don't put words in my mouth.
That's Dennis, dude. You just got to let it go.
I'm just saying. I didn't say they wouldn't cover.
Dennis is,
I mean,
you know.
You didn't go as far as to saying like, oh, they're definitely losing this game tonight, did you?
No.
Oh, who would do that?
Yeah, who would possibly do that? Guaranteed it.
Happy birthday today to Dana Stubblefield.
Oh, that's 49er. Great Dana Stubblefield. Ooh. God, this one's going to hurt. Dana Stubblefield is 50.
52.
Carmichael Dave, you are correct. This is going to hurt. Alan, you get the point. He is 54 today.
Ugh, golly.
Happy birthday to Eagles wide receiver Devontae Smith.
Okay. All right. Okay. Uh-huh.
Devontae Smith is 26.
No. He's either 24 or 25. 24 seems young. I'm going to say 25.
We got a correct answer. And it goes to Carmichael Dave,
What?
26 years old.
When did that happen?
Today.
Today.
It happened today. He was 25 yesterday, but he's 26 today.
Wow.
Come on, Alan.
All right. Happy birthday, Francisco Lindor.
Now,
Ooh.
here's a guy.
Here's a guy. Oh,
With a
gosh.
birthday.
Is he 30? He's 30.
I think he's 31.
We have a correct answer. He is 30, is what I would have said yesterday because he's 31 today.
Wow.
Alan Stiles gets it correct.
Wow, that was mean. I was
That was pretty
It's a
mean.
good battle.
That was jacked. Is that it?
That is it for today.
Oh, okay.
I think you've had enough.
Alan, what? Wow. What's coming up on the Alan Stiles showgram today?
Yeah, so like we mentioned, big on the Suns. We have plenty of sound from Keegan, from Trey Lyles, like you discussed, Dave. DeMar DeRozan. Should we have DeMar, or just a little bit less? So we're breaking all of that down. And De'Aaron Fox, Mike Brown said some things that maybe the rest of national media wouldn't agree with as it pertains to De'Aaron Fox and how good of a finisher he is in the league. But ultimately, did the Kings get back on track last night, and did the bench get unlocked? That's all coming up next.
What did Mike Brown say?
He said that De'Aaron Fox is the best guard finisher in the league.
You know, no, Alan, you're supposed to say, I'll tell you during my show.
Why would you ask the tease? I already teased it.
He was teasing your tease.
You don't tease the tease.
Wow. All right. For Sam Amick, for Chris Roulade, for Jason Russ, I'm Carmichael Dave. We'll see you tomorrow. Light the beam, baby. Alan Stiles is next. Bye-bye now.
The Beam Team plays here.
How many times